another episode of the How Long to Beat podcast, a podcast made by members of the community for members of the community. My name is Matt, and I'm with my friends Leah
Hello.
and Roy.
Oh, it's me who just got Wordle in 5.
Oh my gosh. That's the gamer moments we are here for right from the get-go. Perfect. Our fourth co-host Diallo not with us today. It is going to be us three. Today, we will, of course, talk about the games that we've been beaten, retiring, and playing recently. And then, instead of a traditional discussion topic, today we will be pulling from the eons of times gone by as we are delving into the depths of the How Long to Beat forums and answering a couple more or less strange questions that I have picked out
God.
in my deep dives. My co-hosts are not
So
prepared.
that's
It's
what the
going to be
secret
it's going to
has
be
been. All
a
right.
spontaneous affair. My co-hosts have no idea what the fuck this is going to be. Didn't know
Yeah,
until this moment right now.
for the
Um,
benefit of the viewers, we had to change the discussion topic like 3 days ago. And Matt's just like,
yeah,
yo, I've got this secret idea. I don't know if it'll be fun. And we're like, what is it? Well, it's a secret. And we're like,
yeah.
sure, we don't have better ideas. So that's how we got here.
It's a little bit of a chaotic
I mean,
emergency safety net thing situation, but it might be fun.
Yeah.
We will see.
it sounds fun.
It could be cool. I'm curious about, but
I'm very
first,
curious.
yeah. Oh, and then of course to finish the itinerary summary, uh, the final thing we will be doing is another round of the yet no always untitled collection game, uh, and that will be our journey today.
All right.
So
All right,
for now,
everybody, mark it down. Matt has finally given up on the game having a title.
I have
It's
no
finally
idea.
happening now.
Honestly, I've, for me, that has been the official title for months at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it's not so much as you giving up as you doubling down on it not having a title.
Yeah.
You could always say like as yet or something, so technically it would have opened the option, you know.
Yeah, it's just part of the brand.
Part of the
It's a bit of a
the uncertainty is part of the brand, you know.
exactly. That's how I
Never let them
roll.
know what the product is.
Yeah, just consume. You don't need to know. That's how that works. So let us begin our first official chapter in this episode. What have we beaten recently? And I would like one of you two to start off. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the start because I've been in one game.
Fine.
And one thing about this game is that, so in addition to the How Long to Beat community, I'm part of Backlogged. Crazy, I know. Sacrilegious, even, some might say.
Oh.
Terrible,
But
terrible.
one thing they do is every once in a while they'll do a Game of the Year rewind where, like, you vote for the Game of the Year of the past year. So coming up at the end of the month is the Game of the Year rewind from 1998. Because of that, I've been like, hey, I'll go through some of my 1998 backlog, get a few games off there, you know, see how long it takes them to beat. Ooh. But I decided to start with this game, which is GT64 Championship Edition, because it wasn't very long, and I wanted to play another racing game.
Hell yeah.
I think the best way I could sum up this game, which is how I also summed it up in a review I wrote, is that is dry chicken nuggets hold the sauce, which is
Oh God.
Wow.
Fuck that.
like the thing with this game is that's not terrible. It's not like uncontrollable or that there's a bunch of issues, but like, dude, it's just boring. It's just kind of like it's just kind of lame. That's how I'm gonna put it. It's just kind of lame. So this is based on like I forget the exact name of it now, but the Japanese Grand Prix circuit. Except
Oh.
even though it's based on that, it doesn't have like almost any of the tracks that they actually race on the circuit. So like, what the fuck does that even mean? It has all the racers, but like, come on. give me the tracks. It's 1998. There's a whole bunch of other games that have way more robust track list than this one, which is basically 6 tracks. It's kind of Ridge Racer-esque in the sense that it has 3 tracks. Then it has a variation of those 3 tracks. Then it has
Ooh, I love
reverses
that.
of all of them.
Hell yeah.
So,
What else do
so
you
it's
need?
not really
Oh,
very long. But it's weird because it is a simulation racing game and not an arcade racing game. Or at least it's trying to be a simulation racing game. Like,
it
there's
doesn't
no
look like
drifting
one.
or arcadey stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no drifts. There's no like arcadey elements or like a time like a time limit or anything. There's like a screen where it's like suspension and downforce and tire and all the stuff that you would do. So it's kind of weird in that it's like a simulation game but has the track list of an arcade game. And like at this time on just the N64, I'm not even counting other systems because whatever. Like F1 World Grand Prix, which is a game I've always liked and is like a simulation F1 game, had like every Grand Prix track, which is like over 20. I forget the exact number that was in F1 in 1998. You play like NASCAR 2000, which technically is a year later, but whatever. On the N64, it has every racetrack, and it's all accurate. This one has like 6, and most of them aren't even in the actual real Grand Prix, so it's like, that's lame. And it just has like no energy. The menus are very basic. There is
Oh,
no sound when you race except an engine sound, which is rather annoying. Like, it's not very good engine sound. You know what I mean?
oh boy.
But like, there's no other sounds. I guess technically, like if we hit a wall, it makes like a little crashing noise.
How
You
did
know
you
what I
play
mean?
this?
Uh,
Did
what do you mean?
emulation or
Emulation,
like Nintendo thing?
emulation.
Okay. Hmm.
Because I don't own it in real life. I mean, I guess maybe that was an emulation issue, but when I looked up on YouTube, they also had the same sound.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then, yeah. Seems weird though. Yeah. But I guess if it is a simulation focused thing, I guess they tried that. That's why they didn't
Yeah.
have music.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not even, I don't even mean like music, but like, like when you play a racing game that's non-arcade, like a NASCAR game or an F1 game or whatever, you're gonna have like a spotter or something who's gonna like, you go through a checkpoint, he makes a noise about you getting closer to your
Oh,
opponent or
okay.
getting more lead and stuff. But there's nothing like that at all. There's just nothing.
Hmm.
And like the game's pretty easy overall. It took me a bit to get used to the controls, but it controls fine. I feel like I crashed more than I should have, but I think that was probably I just didn't get used to it. I won pretty casually. I didn't really try like the super hard difficulties admittedly. It controls fine. It races fine. The track design, there was some interesting ones, but nothing special. It just was really boring. Like the intro is just like one car. They sometimes change the camera angle. There's no attempt at excitement. It has really mid music.
I mean,
So
looking at screenshots, it looks kind of cute. It looks like a mix of Mario Kart 64 and like Ridge Racer, just from the visuals.
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
But yes, like I'm looking at like screenshots where there's specifically like a tunnel and some trees and whatever. And I mean, it's in the same system, so I guess it's just the same technology happening. But I swear some of these screenshots give me Mario Kart 64
I mean,
vibes specifically.
I guess I really don't
It's
see the trees the same in my head, but maybe it's just been a long time since I played Mario Kart 64.
yeah, that
That's
sure.
always possible.
Or maybe it's my own
Um,
Scoot memory. Could also be.
I
Who
mean, for
knows?
what it's worth, maybe you should check it out. It's pretty damn short to check out. I know you like some racing games.
I'm,
Like
I mean,
you
yeah,
can kind of just beat in like 3 hours, 2 hours. Like if you want to try
it
it, it's
it
really
does
low commitment.
does seem like the kind of like arcade or like retro racing game that could be good for a cozy evening and then that's it. But so I would be inclined to give it a shot, but again, it's fighting with like 200 other racing games in my backlog, so it's realistically probably not gonna
Uh,
happen.
I mean, I'll put it like this: I'd be curious if you did try it, so I could just hear your opinions, because maybe I missed something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's listen, you know about my limited emulation points for this year. It's this one's not gonna
Just
be
buy a
it.
Nintendo 64 card
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
that's the
for your
solution
real
for sure.
Nintendo 64 that you definitely own.
Yeah, I guess I have to own that one then, just for this game. Oh boy.
The only other thing I'll say is that the credits thank the Supreme Court, and I
Huh?
assume it's just like the name of a country, but I don't know if it is. I don't know if I still have the screenshot. It just says the Supreme Court. It's like special thanks.
Very curious.
And
I don't think
between
I've seen that
that and
before.
like Cruisin' World and USA being like Bill Clinton, I'm like, damn, maybe gaming
Oh
in the Clinton
yeah.
years had a point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Wow, what a reference. Holy shit. Gaming in the Clinton years. Oh
We
god.
all know about games. We all got a game in the Clinton years.
Totally.
But yeah, this is like a 3 out of 10 game to me. But maybe I missed something. I don't know. That's really all I have to say about it, I think.
Yeah, that's your beaten game. Leah, what do you got beaten?
I have finished Is This Seat Taken? I'm pretty sure I've talked about it before because I've been playing like the mobile ripoff version
Yep.
of this game. But I finally took a few days to finally. This is only like 4 or 5 hours if you're good at it. I think it took me like 11 hours or something like that. But otherwise, it's a short one. It's just like a logic puzzle game. Basically, you have like, they're not people, they're shapes. So you have like squares and circles and stuff, and they all have like different conditions, and you're at a location. So like at a stadium, home fans can't be with visitor fans. The ones with sensitive to smells can't be near people with nachos or people who like forgot to shower that day or something. Then like, at the park, somebody will want to read by the light, but like the light attracts bugs, so if they don't like bugs, you can't sit them at the light, you need to put them somewhere
Oh
else.
wow.
At the beach, somebody wants to tan, but somebody sunburns easily, so they need to be with somebody that has sunscreen. Some people want to swim, some people want to sleep, some people want to like listen to music loudly, which will disturb people who want to read. So it's like a very sort of like figure out where everyone can sit, where everyone is happy. So there's a little story to it, but the puzzle aspect is what got me into I played the demo just because it looked like something I would be interested in anyway. Um and then when the full game was coming out, I was like immediate buy because I enjoyed the demo so much I want to play the full game. And then I just left it there for a while, but yeah, the puzzle aspect is really what drew me to it in the first place. So I would recommend it if you like logic puzzles like that, which is like my jam apparently.
I mean, yeah, sounds like a pretty good concept for sure.
I feel like that's one of the first games I finished this year that wasn't like an itch title. So
Oh my god, is that so really? Huh.
yeah, I think so.
Well,
It
congrats.
might be.
A real game beaten.
Yeah, something from Steam that isn't itch.
I definitely know there's been some years where I feel like all I really beat was itch games, and then I end the year feeling at least slightly disappointed. Because itch games are
Yeah.
fun, but they're just like they're fun, but they are very like short experiences usually.
Well, that's the thing. Like my thing this year was try to finish my Epic backlog because I just like grab a bunch of freebies that I think are
Yeah.
going to be interesting, and then I don't touch them because I open Steam and forget about everything else I have. So I was like, this year I'm not touching Steam. Guess what I've been opening this year? So like,
Maybe you got also not touch itch.
yeah.
Poor itch.
I mean, you can't scratch that itch.io.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean, we also have Itchmas in July coming up, so there's also
That's
that.
true.
That's the
true.
blocker there.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, Leah, according to those that one like Epic Games, what was it, lawsuit or interview or whatever, you're like 70% of people who use Epic Games.
Yeah.
The lawsuit or interview. I like how that's conflatable
I
with Epic
couldn't
Games.
remember which one it was, but there was one where like
I don't
former
know.
employees came out. I think it was a lawsuit because it was like under oath, but I could be wrong. And they were talking
Mm,
about how
Oh,
the
yeah.
majority of people open Epic Games, get the free games, and then never touch it again.
Just
yeah,
yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to play that. I'm gonna get it now because it's free. And then I'm like, where do I have that game? which is the reason why I downloaded Play Night to begin with. But
Mhm.
what I have Play Night, I have a collection separately where it's like everything that's not in Steam. But then like sometimes I'm like, I want to play this other game, and then I just like search for it in on Play Night, and it'll just open it, and it tends to always be a Steam game
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
if I bought it with my real money, it's probably gonna be on Steam, and that's probably what I'm gonna be more interested in playing than something I just got randomly.
Yeah, same.
That's true.
But I'm using Planet as well, specifically kind of to get rid of the Steam tunnel vision. It's been actually
Yeah.
I got a game later on here that I've been playing via Epic, and I didn't even know I owned it on
Ooh,
Epic,
Yeah.
which was nice. Yeah.
epic gaming.
Yeah,
I
literally.
feel like honestly, most of the time, I know what I have on the Epic Game Store. I just don't want to open it.
Yeah.
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 I made a
It's
list of
kind of
everything that I own on Epic, and there's some good games on there that I do want to play, but
Yeah.
like none of them are calling to me right now. So it's like, well, I should have thought of that before I made this my goal this year.
Hey, Leah,
Hmm.
have you heard about the website howlongtobeat.com that lets you put down and sort your games by storefront?
But that's the issue with How Long to Beat is that it'll import Steam, but it won't import anything else.
True.
So then I
Hmm.
forget.
I don't think I've ever imported Steam in my life, so that's probably
I
the
did it
difference there. I
on
just put it.
sign
I
up,
do
and
it every
that's it.
year.
Oh, wow.
It's just to keep my backlog up to date.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I have like
Yeah.
a notepad where I'm like backlog quick refresh 9/5/2025, which I haven't finished yet and has
Jeez.
like 50 games, but I will finish it. And then I just add it on.
I have like it'll import things, but then you get to check off which ones you want to add. So it's
Mhm.
technically just manual too, because sometimes it'll find games that I took off of there because I was just like, that's never gonna be something I play, so why even have it recorded here? Or sometimes it'll find like I had a demo and it'll find the game again, and I'm like, no, I already
Oh,
have
yeah.
this
Hmm.
logged on here, so I just do. It's an easier way of like getting them on there, and then I just have to go through and like check them off, be like, yeah, I need this, put this on there, whatever. So I try to keep
Makes
that
sense.
updated yearly, but
Interesting. Yeah, let me start with my beaten games because it's a bunch. I would like to begin though with nothing that has been teased yet, with a completely different game. I've recently talked about how I wanted to play more German games, and here's my German game for this episode. This is called Maki's Adventure, which is a little indie game developed by one person in my hometown of Duisburg,
oh,
Germany. So this is
oh,
like
Oh,
literally
doxing
some
yourself.
guy, yeah, whatever. It's not. Who cares? It's if there's a game developer that does decent games in this city, I want to give it a shout out. Duisburg does
Yeah.
not have the best reputation in Germany for anything. So if I can give it a positive shout out, I want to do it. Who gives a shit?
oh, this game looks cute.
Yeah, so Marky's Adventure is a 2D platformer. It's kind of inspired stylistically by a lot of Metroidvanias. I'm sure there's some Hollow Knight inspiration in there and whatnot, but mostly in, I guess, the platforming and then the visuals. It's not actually Metroidvania. It's a very linear game with fairly small environments to explore, but it has a lot of like boss fight action. It has a lot of different like biomes and different environments that you explore. It's so the individual platforming stages are linear, but overall you can take these different levels in whatever order you want, basically. And it's pretty neat because it's clearly like I think this is the first game that the developer made, or at least the first that they published. And it has this sort of like early developer urge to experiment with the tools that they have. And so they are throwing a bunch of different things in there. And this one, a lot of the times with these indie games that bogs down the ultimate result and like with things not fitting and whatnot, mishmash, not working out the way it's intended probably, but this one here's a case where it actually kind of like gave it a lot of charm with its different things. Like of the main levels are 2D platforming, but there's for example an overworld where you choose your levels, which you can explore as its own thing. That is a 3D environment where you swim through an ocean and get like move from island to island, whatever. Like a completely different style of game that is fitted in there pretty well. while the rest of the game is 2D platforming. And it has this
Hmm.
demon main character that has like shark abilities where you can turn into different kinds of sharks when you're in water with different abilities and whatnot, which is kind of
Hmm.
cute. It's not like super extensive or whatever, but it's kind of neat. And it's not really something like I don't think shark abilities are like a popular thing in video games that you see explored much, but it's cool. And it's short, it's like 3 hours, I think, or whatever. Like it's neat. It has a bunch of collectibles, it has pretty cute, quirky writing. It was actually nice to play something with like German writing for a change, which just feels different than the usual English game that I'm playing. Yeah, and it's just a decent game. Um, it looks like the developer kind of like struck gold with a more viral multiplayer game later on and also released a brand new game just a couple days ago. So they might be a bit, they have like a bit of a spark going for them right now, which is actually neat because, again, I found them out through a map of game developers. And that's like one of the few spots, like almost in my own neighborhood. And that's like kind of exciting. So that's my
Maybe you can go
German.
down the street and say hello. Show them the
Like that's
podcast
literally
episode.
it. I literally know where the person's official like brand addresses. I could literally walk there and say hello, but I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, it could be cool. And then you say that, and then you say you mentioned the game on the podcast and you
This
liked
new
it.
one sounds great.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother that person in real life. But yeah, that's
You gotta
Marcus
get your
Adventure.
Magic
It's
Bros on the podcast, and you gotta get
oh
these
my
guys on
gosh.
the podcast.
Yeah,
I
be a guest.
I shudder at the thought of bringing more Germans onto the podcast. I don't know if I want that. I want to be the only one.
Okay, get some pigeons.
That might
I
be
like how
arrangeable.
without the context of you being German, that sounds so bad.
No, I think that's fair. Even if I wasn't German, I think that's fair. We don't need Germans here. More Germans. So, speaking of Germans, I got another game that includes Germans, and that is Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Oh, well.
Perfect
Segue.
segue. Yeah.
Segue.
This is already
this has
hilarious.
been
Episode.
so Wolfenstein: The New Order is Wolfenstein: The New Order was the final game I bought physically in a store back in 2016 or so, or 2017 probably. And it was like back then, like the point of it was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. After which I went pretty much fully digital because you buy this box which had multiple discs, if I'm not mistaken. You still had to register it at Steam anyway and like download the updates and whatever. I could have just downloaded it directly. It would have not made like it would have actually spared me the inconvenience of the physical disc. I had nothing from it. So that's just like a tangent, but that's how I originally bought Wolfenstein: The New Order many years ago, 10 years ago or so. And I played it a little bit back then already, but I never actually finished it. So this was actually a return to the thing and giving it a second
A
chance.
return to Castle Wolfenstein, if you will.
You could say that, yeah. Very nice. I did play Return to Castle Wolfenstein way back in the day, and I did play Wolfenstein 3D a couple years ago, so I have already a bit of experience with the franchise. This is my first time like properly playing one of the modern ones. Like first of all, I'm actually glad I didn't finish it back in the day and return to it now because back in the day, this game in Germany was of course censored to
Right.
shit because in Germany for the longest time, like of course um um Nazi symbolism is illegal in Germany for fucking good reason.
Yeah.
But
A
it
little bit.
has always and so of course the Wolfenstein games here also like like changed to the extreme when it comes to all of that. Not only all of the goddamn swastikas and other Nazi symbols that are removed, they try to remove all historical references to people or places, which is insane in a game that is so directly engulfed in that old history thing. They even removed the very word Nazi from the entire game. So
That seems like it'd make the game very
it's
difficult.
instead of like kill the Nazis, the character just says kill those assholes or whatever. Like the censorship process on these games must have been insane because it's so much shit that you would have to remove. Thankfully, a couple years ago, the law has been updated a little bit in a sense that video games are now considered art in the eye of the law and now have more freedom of expression with these kinds of things. So movies and such were already like allowed, no problem to show, I don't know, Nazi stories or whatever the fuck. It's just video games weren't considered art until very recently, so they had the shit end of the stick. And now that is changed, and Germans are actually allowed to purchase and play the uncensored versions of these games. And the cool thing is, I played this on the Epic Store because I also owned the game on there because it was given away for free at some point. I did not go back to my stupid physical edition.
He didn't even use the physical.
No, fuck because the physical edition is forever censored. I cannot
Oh,
decensor it.
duh! You can't
Yeah,
update it. I figured there was
exactly.
just like an update that decensored it. I didn't realize it was just like a whole different version.
Yeah, unfortunately not. What they did is now if you own the game on certain storefronts, you are able to upgrade it to get the international version as well for free, but it's its own like individual instance of a software.
So I guess that means you can play the censored version if you really want to.
I could. It's and here's a rare W for Epic. On the Steam store, it's stupid. You have to rebuy the game to get both versions. On the Epic
No.
store, I
It's
was
not
just able to
lame.
get the it sucks. But this is why I played it on the Epic store, which was nice. And the actual game is cool, by the way. It's dope. I enjoyed it a lot. I've not been playing a lot of first-person shooters in recent years, and this was like one of those rare occasions where I thought like, hey, maybe I should actually look more into these things like I used to in my youth. No, it's a badass fucking Nazi shooter. I was surprised to really enjoy a lot of the stealth elements in here, and I like that the game is only giving these as an option to go around a level stealthily while you're never forced to do it. You can do it either way, whatever you want. But I usually try to stealth my way around the dark corners of these places and like silently end these Nazis' life with knives mostly, which was very fun. It's cool shit. And I also really enjoyed there's a brief optional NPC cutscene with one of your companion characters, a black character who challenges the great American Nazi killer BJ Blazkowicz on his American patriotism in giving him a bit of like a prospective readjustment and how the US historically was very racist itself.
Mm.
And they should like reevaluate their own personal view on the Nazis a little bit as an American. And I never have seen a Wolfenstein game even acknowledge that shit, let alone expected them to. Not even the modern ones. I didn't even think they would ever be like even mentioned. Because if you telling a story about epically shooting Nazis, you're not gonna be critical of your own history, of your own country. That usually doesn't happen in these kinds of pieces of media. So that was actually really cool.
And
Even
10
if it's
years later,
just
it's only aged better. You know, so
yeah, yeah, you
Wow.
could say that. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is there's also a weird thing as a German. I am enjoying the story, of course, because of the unfortunately German elements. It's cool to see these elaborate retro futuristic German cities and whatnot. And
Mm.
like being able to, because I'm able to understand both English and German, to actually understand both the languages that are used by the characters without having to rely on the translated subtitles and whatnot. It's
Yeah.
really, really fun. Um, my only gripes of this game were the couple last challenges, which went full on action heavy. There was no option for stealth anymore. They really wanted you to run and gun through rooms flooded with enemies, and that was not that fun for me. I didn't really dig that. And the final boss fight was kind of an abrupt flop. Like that was not really very exciting or interesting at all. But like 80% of this game rule pretty hard. It's a great shooter, and I'm glad I like went back to give it another shot. And I'm excited to play the sequels now. Um, and especially the
Yeah,
prequel, which I believe has you kill Adolf Hitler himself, so that's cool.
always a good thing to do, honestly.
Yeah, I remember when I played Wolfenstein 3D, and you get to kill Mecha Hitler. It was kind of like a gaming bucket list item. That was like kind of a thing I always wanted to do, and it was pretty epic to have done that back then. It's good stuff.
Gaming bucket list, kill Hitler.
Yeah. I feel like that should be an obligatory thing on everybody's bucket list.
It's never a bad
So
time for it.
exactly. So standing up to fascism is good, and you should kill fascists. And now, speaking of fighting the authorities, I have another game here where you do that called Evading the Police via a Jetstream simulator, which is the long awaited sequel to the Watching Someone Pee simulator series on newgrounds.com. I previously mentioned these games on an episode where this is it's a user. They're called Faraway Drip 30. They are releasing a new game on each April 1st in each year in this series that started originally with a game titled Watching Someone Pee Simulator. And it's been interesting to see them like come up with new ideas and changing the core thing of the series as it gets like weirder and wilder with each year. And this is the new one that came out in 2026. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is. This is like a scrolling screen shmup kind of thing. It's very basic, but you have essentially fly. You fly along a road using your piss as a propelling jet stream. And you are chased by cops, and you just have to shoot the cops with the um, obligatory awkward controls that the series likes to play with, and that's pretty much it. It's a very basic, simple thing. It's not the best in the series. The best is still stopping someone from watching you piss with a shotgun simulator. That is still the absolute fucking peak of this franchise. But this was not bad either. So just yeah, that's that.
All right.
And
I mean, this was the game that we were hyped for before. Okay, here's the real question, Matt.
yeah,
Where would you say
I'm
this
all
ranks in
ears.
the franchise against the other watching somebody pee games?
I think it might be like the how many? I think there's like 6 games right now, and I think this is like in the middle. I would probably put it like 3 or 4, spot 3 or 4.
So average to below average in the franchise is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not the
Alright.
greatest, but I'm excited for next year's installment.
Maybe it'll be pissing on Hitler Simulator. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's more likely than you think. But speaking of disgusting controversies, I played a game that's been honestly only been known or talked about because of its controversy. I played Horses.
Hmm.
That one PC indie game that was like removed from the Steam store and whatever the fuck because they thought it was too spicy or whatever. It's available for $5 on itch.io, which is where I bought it. And I don't think anybody who like people talked about it because of the decision by Valve
Yeah.
or whatever. When people talked about the actual content of the game, it seems like it's not actually that great or interesting or like shocking or whatever. And so I went into this with like not the greatest expectations, but I was curious. And Horses, like, it's not terrible. It's also not great, and it's definitely not worth like the controversy that it got. There's 100% more like, I don't know, gruesome or explicit or even sexual things on the Steam store and co that this one doesn't really rival with. Horses is an artsy, like black and white 4:3 aspect ratio silent film game where you play as a boy who does a summer job on a farm, which the farm herds horses, which are actually just people with horse masks, and you uncover the dark secrets of what the fuck this place is and why the soul farmer is doing these things and whatnot. And it does a pretty like the presentation is really cool. Again, it has this like silent film aesthetic. It uses occasionally like FMV scenes like for quick things. Like every now and then you get an actual real world video of an action in the game, which like sets up some expectations of, oh boy, what am I gonna see next and whatnot. Even though I like it never like goes like truly hardcore with that shit, but it does add to the odd vibe. And it has like these low poly like character molds and whatever, but it still has a cool stylized presentation with like sticking to this 4:3 aspect ratio, black and white stuff, and like a couple different tricks here and there with the visuals. It's pretty neat. The story is okay. It's funny sometimes and it's disgusting other times, just from the concepts more than the actual what it's shown. But it's ultimately like the themes of this game are pretty cliche stuff. They are walked through pretty decently, I think. But it's like the typical stuff that you probably have seen in other media about like uh religious hypocrisy and sexual suppression and like generational trauma and whatnot. Like it's not anything super like inventive that you probably never have seen before or whatever. But what it does with those already like established themes in other media um, is still pretty decent as its own experience. It's not like it does it badly. It's just not incredibly original. And like literally, I went out of this game thinking, yeah, this is fine. This is not terrible. This doesn't deserve. It's a shame it has this huge controversy like hanging on its butt now because that sets it up for bigger expectations, I think, from the people
Oh,
that seek it out. And I think
yeah.
that's gonna be a bigger detriment to this game than if it was just a regular release. That would
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
I I do kind of want to say something about the whole
yeah,
situation with it, because I feel like, from what I know, the game kind of used the ban to try to get more eyes on it. Because the thing that was big is that this game came out in 2025, but
yeah.
they had already said it would not be allowed on the Steam's storefront 2 years earlier when it had very first been put out for review. And then the dude only announced it like right when the game was being finished that it was banned, kind of thing,
Oh,
which
okay.
also added a lot of sales to it, I suspect. And like for Epic, they went to the ratings board. They said it'd be 18 plus AL, which is pretty standard for a lot of stores to not necessarily
Is
carry
it on?
that.
Is it on Epic? I don't even know.
No, it's not. My point is that they
Oh,
checked it
okay.
because it was
Yeah.
AL. The only place it's on is GOG.
And itch. Yeah,
I forgot Itch had it on there. This is the kind of game I feel like I didn't play it yet or at all, and I probably never will, so I shouldn't say yet.
sure.
I kind of feel
Yeah,
like this is a game where, like you said, it kind of is saying kind of standard stuff, and then they're going really hard and like we believe in creative freedom. It's like I'm not sure this is the game to plant the flag on. I guess I
yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
Like
what I'm really
I
saying.
want to be clear that the point this game is like the points the game is making through its narrative about these subjects are valid and well
Right,
packaged. It's
right.
just not super original. So still feel like it's worthwhile as an exploration of these themes in this medium. Um, it's just not, something to worth writing home about or whatever. It's not like the greatest thing ever.
I feel like it was mostly miscommunication because from what I
Mm,
know of the game, it seems like it does explore the themes in not in a gross way, but like they're heavy themes and it's like explained in the storyline. But
Um,
I guess
I mean,
the
for what,
storefronts
for what,
weren't aware of what themes or stories or whatever the hell until later on. So they
mm.
kind of felt like they were they were hoodwinked, I guess, into what this game was going to be. So that's why all the fuss
Kind of.
was happening about it.
Plus, the reason it was removed was because it showed a minor in that kind of situation, which
Yeah,
could be legally
that was my
dicey.
other thing that I heard that they had changed certain things as like the stores had questions about it, but I don't know which version is out there because I know that they had said that they were going to change the minor, and there was like some other, I can't remember, there was like at least two other instances that kept being brought up that they were like, oh, that has been edited or changed or whatever to suit the stores, and then the store still didn't let them on the store.
Yeah,
So
that I'm not
I
sure
don't know which
about.
versions are
I know
available.
about the minor that was a girl that was only in like an early unreleased beta version or whatever, which was then changed to a young adult lady. And either way, that character was not really involved in anything explicit or whatever. They were riding on the back, like piggyback style of a
Right.
nude person. Like it's whatever. I understand the change and it makes sense, but it's not like really the most vile thing I have
Yeah.
seen in a video game.
Definitely not. And it's
Yeah.
not the worst thing on the Steam storefront either, I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
Right,
definitely
exactly.
not. Yeah. I don't know what exactly the other ones were, but like all I know is as it stands, it's pretty decent. I actually wouldn't even like if this is a game that anybody's interested in, or if these are just subjects that somebody likes to be explored through art. I honestly don't even think this is a bad thing to pick up to see how it's walked through in this, because it does have a couple cool ideas and whatnot in how it tells the story. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's horses. A brief 3-hour playthrough as well. You can like go through this in like an evening. It's fine. So, speaking of unjust punishment, I played the Punisher on like the arcade game, which I didn't plan at all, and I never. It's not the kind of game that I would go through, but like things happen. I bought the Marvel vs. Capcom collection on Steam for the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games, and I realized pretty quickly like I'm not actually doing much of these fighting games because that's not really a thing I'm good at. But it also includes this beat 'em up game with the Punisher, like the Marvel character, the Punisher from an arcade, and
Yeah.
I just opened it up for a brief glimpse, and I was having enough fun to actually just breeze through it in like an hour or whatever the fuck. And again, this is
Sick.
not the kind of game that I usually play, but this, like, I don't know, something about the fluidity of like beating up a bunch of guys and like just walking from left to right as the Punisher is just pretty fun. Presentation is good. It has a bunch of fun like stages, like in buildings, on the streets, in a train and whatnot. Like it has a really good. There's clearly like the Marvel money in this arcade machine and whatnot. And since it is a Steam release of an arcade machine, I'm not actually feeding it coins. It was very, very lenient on continues, and I did not have any problems with game overs, which is always very much appreciated. So this was just a very surprising, fun and breezy playthrough of a neat game, which actually did make me wonder if I should like check out more beat 'em up games. Which again,
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
The Marvel ones were always fun.
yeah,
I've
maybe
played
I'll
I
do
grew
that.
up on Captain America and the Avengers, and the X-Men arcade near me has the X-Men cabinet, and I'm always like excited. Like that's the last game that I have to play before I leave.
I think the X-Men beat 'em up is also in this collection actually, but I haven't
Mm.
Give it a shot
that
then.
one hasn't grabbed me as much. Yeah.
I did, and they also did
Uh,
release that like Marvel Cosmic Invasion recently.
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm interested in that one as well, for
Yeah, I
sure.
want to play that too.
Yeah,
The Ninja Turtles one was really good. So by the
right,
same
Yeah,
yeah,
same
developer.
developers.
true.
I always hear good things about Streets of Rage 4 as well.
So yeah, that was a breezy playthrough. And speaking of breezy playthroughs, we also had a breezy match of Wingspan, Leah and I. After recording a previous episode, we just had a 1-to-1 match in the bird-based board game. And like I got it in this beaten category. I yapped about how I beat the NPC characters in this game like eons ago. It's been a while. I got it here now again because I guess I beat Leah, so I guess guess it
Damn.
makes sense to put this game in a beat category. I don't really know where else I would put this when we are going with these categories or whatever. But yeah, it's needs to play against a human for a change. Just to have that
How many
cross off the
people
list,
get
of
to
course.
play?
I think 4 people is the maximum amount that can play this.
Maybe we could all get in a game together. Not that I own it.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, you would have to buy it first. And I don't think it's like that super cheap. But yeah, I mean, we could do that. But it's like, I think we've mentioned previously that Wingspan is like, it's not the kind of board game where there's a lot of interaction between the players. There's like barely any interaction between the players. It's more like a parallel trying to achieve the same goals. So it's still like neat. I guess it's like kind of a neat hangout game or whatever, but it's not like a super exciting one.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's a good game. I just think I don't know how often I'm gonna go back to this one after having won so many times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck. But yeah, that's what we were doing. Speaking of what we were doing, I also beat a game called We Were Here Forever, which that was my main co-op game with my co-op partner that I've been playing for the past couple of weeks, and we are done with it. Again, this was the finale of the We Were Here franchise, at least so far. They are still doing a new one, which this time has a completely different setting and whatnot. So this truly feels like the end of a chapter in a way. And we are still impressed with the quality of polish in this game compared to the previous games. I mentioned that a little bit in a previous episode. There were a couple puzzles that were pretty tricky. I'm actually kind of surprised and proud of us that we didn't end up looking anything up, even though we were close to looking something up 1 or 2 times. We had a game halting bug though once where an
Oh.
event just didn't trigger for some reason, and we were just standing in front of incomplete puzzle elements and just were trying to figure out what the fuck we're supposed to do when it was just not ready yet, basically. Um, Thankfully, like that's the one moment where we did look up what the fuck is wrong with this puzzle, and then we just realized, oh, the game bugged out. So thankfully, we just had to reload, and it was all fine and Gucci. There's one puzzle in here that I really actually want to shout out because I actually fucking love that. There's one moment where you are in an underwater vessel and you're like approached by a ginormous kraken, and you have to communicate with it by one player hearing the sounds the kraken is making, and that player has to make those sounds to the other player, explain those sounds to the other player, or reenact them, or whatever the fuck. And the other player has to figure out with a dictionary, basically, what the fuck the words mean. And that was
Oh, yeah.
such a cool, like, of course, these games are all based on communication. The whole thing, every puzzle is the two players are in completely different areas of a map, and they have to talk to each other to make something happen. But I think this is like one of the first puzzles that like used more than just words. Like my co partner had to like do whale songs and whatever the fuck. Like they had to like do weird gargle noises and whatever to communicate to me what the fuck the kraken was doing. And it was pretty fun. I would like to see more in that sense. That was a cool puzzle. But We Were Here Forever. It's still probably one of the go-to like asymmetrical core puzzle games that I would recommend to people. It's good shit. Speaking about things that are forever, Forever Cornhole is a VR game where you play cornhole in VR, which is
There you go.
I still think that's one of the I don't know, it's just a funny concept. Getting like a multi-hundred-dollar device to play
Yeah.
fucking cornhole. But this was
I
in
mean, why not?
preparation for the yeah, I mean that's true. Why not? In preparation for the previous episode where we were talking about VR games, I was trying to clean up some of the games that I still own from the like MetaQuest Meta Store because I want to get rid of that device in the future anyway. So it would be cool to clean up
Mm.
what I still own on there. And ForeVR Cornhole was just one of those things. I think it used to be like a purchase, but they made it free to play at some point in probably a desperate attempt to revive the online competition, which does not exist at all. And I did not play against a single real human being. Thankfully, there are a couple of NPCs in like different difficulty classes, which I just went through one by one. So I was. I was just putting on some podcast or whatever, standing in the middle of my room and throwing like digital sandbags against like NPC characters. That's just what I did for a couple hours until I beat every one of them at least once.
Beautiful.
The final one on the hardest difficulty is Mrs. Maisel, which is truly one of the scariest video game boss fights of all time. Just some some lady with I will never forget this. There's a lot of customization in like the sandbags and the cornhole boards and whatever the fuck. You can like have different prints and whatnot. And Mrs. Maisel had these Alice in Wonderland cat smile bags, and it just was a very imposing vibe to beat this NPC. I can't explain to you why this was so funny to me. But something about Mrs. Maisel as the ultimate end boss of this video game was quite the experience. And they, of course, dunked almost any throw. Yeah, what the fuck is there to say about this fucking digital cornhole game? It's fine, not a bad time.
I mean, here's the question: what else can you ask from a cornhole game? What could improve it?
See, it's honestly like throwing objects in VR. I talked about this a little bit in the VR episode. You weren't there, of course, so I'm gonna repeat myself a little bit. Throwing objects in VR is kind of tricky because you are trying to let go of an object while still holding the controller in your hand, and cornhole is literally nothing but throwing objects. So it's actually like the core mechanic is a little bit awkward and like not actually very natural as you would throw a real object. So that's kind of annoying, and you have to get used to how this game actually translates your movement and momentum to the object in game. It's not. I wish, to answer your questions, what could this game do better? I wish there was a VR cornhole game where you could throw the object without this awkward, without having a controller in your hand, where you could actually throw an object as you would in real
What you're
life, and it would.
asking for is connect cornhole.
Yes. Yes. I mean,
my
the
God.
VR headsets do have hand tracking without a controller these days, but my headset is still older, and I don't think that game supported that. But it's the technology is there now. We could have it. I doubt anybody is ever going to make another cornhole game in VR.
We have the
because
technology. Why aren't they using it for cornhole?
Exactly. Like it feels crazy to talk about that. Here's this incredible futuristic technology of immersing yourself in digital realms. Let's do cornhole. And it's cool though, because one of the cornhole environments was on like the roof of a high-rise building, and you were throwing the bags over like a divot in the building, over like an abyss with the streets under you. I mean, it's kind of neat to have that in your VR world or whatever the fuck, but yeah, it's fucking cornhole. It was a funny, chill playthrough, and that's that. And my final fucking game that I've beaten, Jesus Christ, is another VR game. This one I own on Steam. It's called Ghost Town Mine Ride and Shooting Gallery. And this is an older VR release, which has actually a pretty cool concept. You are walking through an abandoned amusement park that was put into like some old mining environment. And it starts with you just walking around with your like shooting gallery gun, just shooting at the cardboard cutouts with their funny little animatronics and whatnot. And eventually more and more like horror elements come in, where eventually you're not like shooting at skeleton zombie drawn on a fucking wall with an aim dot or whatever, but there's an actual, I don't know, zombie walking at you or whatnot. And it has a bunch of like horror genre cliches like the big spiders and like possessed dolls that jump at you. A lot of jump scares just spooking you out of nowhere, because that's I guess where this game came from. Again, this is an early VR release, and I think this is just before developers try to actually do something interesting with VR, and like more or less, because it was the first of its time or whatever the fuck, just went with like the obvious cheap attempts at scaring you. But the core concept is still cool enough that it was kind of a neat experience. It has both auto movement elements where you were sitting in a mine cart driving through the mine and like shooting left or right any threats and goals, any threats and targets in your way. And it also had like walkable sections where you actually freely moved through the mines and had to find your way around and whatnot. It's not like super extensive in its mechanics or whatever, but it is a neat experience as far as like shooting gallery games go. And that is basically one of the two game modes that are in this game. There's another game mode which I actually liked even more. You're in another part of the amusement park, I assume, and there's one of these like miniature train rides for kids through like a fairy tale village or whatever the fuck. But of course, it's also at night and it's infested with like zombies or whatever the fuck. So you sit in this like cute miniature train going through these fairy tale animatronic characters and shooting all the goals, and like again having to also shoot actual threats that want to hurt you. And it's neat. It has a bunch of collectible elements where you can look for secret hidden objects to collect as well by shooting at them. And that's like kind of one of those like basic concepts for a VR game that just work very well for easy entertainment that I would really like to see done well. And this one comes pretty close with that, except that the abundance of unnecessary jump scares and loud noises and eventually just become too exhausting for me to actually want to repeat the process to clean up the score or whatever. I would
Right.
love this sort of game without having like um, comical low poly characters jumping in my face while I try to shoot a target. Doesn't need to be a thing. It's like kind of novel maybe for a couple minutes, but eventually it's just gonna be unnecessary. And I think this is mainly a sign of the time that it was released in. It was very early on in the VR days. And I'm hoping to actually find an equivalent that's more modern and more better designed sometime, but I haven't really figured that out yet, except for Crazy Chicken VR that I talked about an eternity ago. That one's kind of like the best yet that I've seen in this sort of genre, but there's still improvements to be done even to that. Someday I will find the best one. Somewhere that will be available. But that is all I've beaten. Goddamn, and that's me done for yapping for now. Who here has retired or paused something that isn't me? Anybody?
Not me. I have not.
Yeah. This is a relatively short list though, so uh I have two. One is Where's My Seat, which was the mobile version of Is This Seat Taken that I was playing, but it's a never-ending game, so I'm never going
Oh,
to finish it. So I was only really playing it to like scratch the itch of not being able to play Is This Seat Taken when I was away from my PC. Mobile games these days, there was always like you play a level, you get an ad. You play a level, you get an ad. So it's like at some point I'm just watching ads and not actually playing the game. So
oh God.
I finally got rid of that one. And the other one is Hypnospace Outlaw, which I started up again and got stuck again. But I am putting it on pause now because I know Roy's also played this before, but as it's
That's
one of the
right.
games I wanted to discuss with Diallo, I'm gonna wait for Diallo to come back to really
Yeah,
finish
Good
that
idea.
game.
Makes sense.
I was about to say, how dare you abandon this game while Diallo is not here to defend it.
It's definitely paused for now. I will get back to it, but
Okay.
I'm trying to get a few more games off my beaten list before I finish that one off. Because that again also is a shorter game, so it'll be easy to beat in time.
I guess it's back to me. Yeah, I retired a couple
Yes.
more. My list is thankfully short here as well. For one, I mentioned this already, the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. After beating Punisher, I retired the whole thing as well. Like, that was all that I wanted, I guess. Or rather, paused. It's legit. Like, I was excited to play Marvel vs. Capcom games because, of course, the allure of a fighting game with all these colorful, recognizable characters is just fun as hell. And I do remember playing Marvel vs. Capcom, the home console releases with childhood friends a lot back in the day. It's always been like one of those series of games that I wanted to actually get for myself as an adult and like properly play through at some point. But I realized quickly booting up this arcade collection that, and this is not news to me, I know this deep in my heart, but I always like try to not take, like, I try to forget it. Fighting games legit just are not my cup of tea. I look at those move lists and my eyes glaze over. I will
So you gotta
never,
button smash.
yeah, I will
Smash is good.
genuinely,
Find one that works and just
yeah.
shove them in a corner, and that's it. That's all you do.
I mean, for fighting games, it also just is fun with like people. Maybe we could play some together, kind of thing, because it's just fun to fuck
Yeah.
around with someone
Yeah, I
sometimes.
guess. But I'm
I can see learning movesets if
Where you don't really need to learn move lists if you're not planning to do a bit more complex
yeah.
stuff. But definitely something I enjoy.
yeah, like if you're doing competitions and stuff, then button mashing is the way to
E-
go for casual style.
I mean,
Yeah.
even aside from button mashing, you don't need to go into training mode and get on that grind when you're just playing the single player
Yeah.
casual. But
Yeah,
also, I
I
definitely
mean,
say something me and a friend have that's fun is that Steam always has so many sales. You'll just buy some crappy ass, like on sale, $4 to $5 budget fighting game, and we just go through the roster. We play like one or two games with each. We just kind of fuck around, see if there's anyone fun, stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, yeah. Sometimes it works, but like with these games, I feel like I just didn't get in the flow. Maybe I will boot this up again at another time and like actually get the muse to put a bit more time into this to
I mean,
actually get
one thing
somewhere
I
in the
will say
campaigns.
is I've never been the biggest fan of the Marvel versus Capcom fighters, even though they're very, very popular.
Yeah.
So there's
Hmm.
that on my
But
end, I
they have
suppose.
Shuma Gorath, and I love that character. I know nothing
Yeah,
about it, but it's like such a cool design for a fighting game. I just just want to play
I
one
mean,
of these and finish one of them.
here's the good news. As far as I know, there's not much to really learn about Shima Gorath. He kind of just got included because they thought he was cool and liked the design.
Yeah, I mean that's enough for me. But again, I can't get through the campaign mode or like the arcade mode of these. Like I wasn't really getting anywhere past the first enemy, and I was not in the mood to actually mash buttons good enough to actually get past that. Like I, I don't know how I went through Dead or Alive when I played that like last year or whatever. I think I put that on easy mode probably. I don't think the arcade games have
Well,
difficulty modes.
it's simple. You were alive instead
Yeah.
of dead.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I don't know if I'm actually gonna go. It's also because these are the arcade games and not the home console games. And I'm of course more interested in actual like single player content, which I would probably have a better
Oh, yeah.
time with the home console games, is what I'm thinking. But I mean, it still gave me the Punisher beat 'em up, which it was honestly almost worth the money on its own. It was like surprising amount of fun. So not any big gripes here. The other game that I retired, I think there's a bit of a bigger gripe with this one. I retired the wooden train track game I talked about previously, Tracks the
Damn.
Train Set game, because there was a game halting bug in the level.
Oh.
I
Aww.
completed the requirement, and it did not progress to the next task. It was just stuck. No matter what I did, no matter what, like reloading an older save file, restarting the game, it kept happening. And I'm not in the mood to like, I don't know, restart the whole campaign or whatever to get back to that point. I probably have played through
Yeah, it's not like that one like little critter platformer you played a while back.
Iluri, the Red
Oh,
Panda
Lori,
game.
yeah.
Yeah,
Aluri,
that's
that's
God, we do
still
not
gonna
talk
beat
about
it one
that.
day, I'm sure.
I still have not uninstalled it. I'm waiting for the day that I feel, I don't know, um, brave enough to face that final level again.
When it's
But
alluring enough.
I guess. But yeah, tracks the Trendset game. I probably have seen 75% of the like quote unquote campaign. Again, it's not really like meant to be played. It's clearly a sandbox game first and foremost. Those like little tasked things, the campaign that it got, it seems like a simple afterthought, pretty much. So it's not really that big of a loss. But yeah, it is a bummer that it's ending that way. And it's not that great of a game for me to dig around and see how I can solve this. It's just, okay, I'm just gonna put it back to the toy box or whatever. That's
Makes
my
sense.
retired games. What the fuck are y'all playing though?
Well, first off, as the intro said, Wordle, just continuing to build the new streak. Nothing really interesting to report. Did I mention Civ 4 AI Survivor before on the podcast
Yeah.
a few weeks ago? I forget. I did. Well, I've been watching
Yeah.
that. I don't need to go into it again. I've been watching that. It inspired me to play some Civ 4. Went through a few games, won a few games, lost one or two. Not much to say. I'm every once in a while, what I'll do is I'll do a challenge where I just I play because I don't have to win. Because I try and just see how it goes. Like I played through the game once with every leader with their like default
Oh,
Civ combination, which is 52 games, and I just kind
Jesus
of record
Christ.
what I did and how it did. I mean, I'm
It's like
big on
30
Civ
years of
4.
playtime.
Again, I have like over 7,000 hours on this game.
Yeah. God damn.
But what I do sometimes is because AI Survivor has like the groupings, I'll do like that as like, oh, I'll do the same people as game one or whatever for one of those games. Tabletop simulator, the usual stuff. I booted up and was playing Madden Next 12, which I've talked about before. It's a mod of Madden 12 that modifies stuff for modern Madden, but it's in the old Madden engine, so it's actually good. I opened up a franchise mode, built a roster, didn't play a single game, got the save file corrupted, then went to create a team and went through a bunch of creative teams and probably spent about 20 hours or some shit. Maybe like 15, without actually playing a game.
Damn.
It's fun though. I like
Yeah, I
doing the
know.
creative and spreadsheets. I guess not spreadsheets and notepad, but I played Pokemon Showdown. I think everybody kind of knows what Pokemon Showdown is at some point. I think I may have talked about it before. But it's just
Yeah, I
like
think so.
free online Pokemon battle stuff. Really, all I mostly did is one of my friends was having fun, like playing random battles. So I just played like 10 or 12 random battles with him one night, which was quite fun. I really want to play more games with that guy, but his schedule of doing other creative works hasn't helped that. Although it has been fun to see him go through Silent Hill 2.
Ooh.
Hearthstone. Another one I think I've both talked about and don't need to discuss again. A friend of mine has been playing this like
I was just gonna ask if you're doing ranked battles, but I guess you're just playing with friends. It sounded like you're going to that.
no, in Hearthstone, no, I have not played with friends. I'm not sure any of my friends even play Hearthstone anymore,
Yeah,
despite playing
that's
with them in the
fair.
past. What actually happened is one of my friends plays this card game roguelike, which is called The Bazaar.
What?
Like, not Bazaar like weird, but like a place you buy and sell things.
Oh,
Bazaar.
yeah, okay.
It actually looks neat as a game, although I think the art style has like bad mobile game energy vibe, but like the gameplay seems good. But I was watching them stream it, and I don't own it, and I can't afford it. But it made me
Oh
think about
God, yeah.
Hearthstone Battlegrounds, because that's also like an auto battle or card game roguelike thing. So I booted up Hearthstone, played some of that, went through Arena, was like, God damn, they changed Arena for the worse with their new system of getting into it, and now it's harder to go infinite on gold, and there's like 2 separate modes, and it's still fun because Arena and Hearthstone just inherently like a fun draft format. But damn, the format kind of sucks in how they change the rewards and stuff. I did play some ranked, but only in the sense that I booted it up to complete quest for gold for Arena. Although I did win a bunch
Of
of
course.
games. But I mean, I won a bunch of games in the sense that like because I haven't played in a long time, I'm near the bottom. You know what I mean? not exactly tough competition. The actual thing that I have more to talk about, and which I will be trying to focus on and beating before May 5th at the latest, so you're definitely going to hear me come back again, is The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I think I've mentioned before, Majora's Mask is my favorite game, and I grew up with a Nintendo 64, but I never owned Ocarina of Time. Just somehow it always just kind of slipped through my little hands, I suppose.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because of that, I've wanted to play it for a long time, and it's a game that came out in 1998. And like I said, Backlogged is doing the Game of the Year Rewind 1998, so I felt like I wanted to try and beat it, and I might try to beat the first Metal Gear Solid for a similar reason, because I feel like if you're going to do Game of the Year 1998, those are kind of games that would be a good idea to have played, at least enough to have an opinion on. So I've booted this up. I'm about 4 or 5 hours in, so I'm still quite early into it. But it's good. The start is actually pretty good. It's definitely, tutorial heavy, but it's actually not bad. It's like Kokiri? I'm bad at pronouncing. Forest. It's got that good old school Zelda goodness. The controls are pretty good for an N64 game.
Yeah.
Obviously, you don't have the full camera control because it's N64, but I would say one thing, even when you don't have the ability to control the camera, I do feel like in a lot of the old N64 games, the default camera angles and just recentering the camera usually just works out totally fine.
Yeah.
I can't really think there was many, if any, times so far where I've been like, damn, this camera sucks and I just can't wrangle it to do what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Graphically, obviously, it's a Nintendo 64 game, but I think it's pretty good for a Nintendo 64 game. And one of the things that surprised me so far, but I've enjoyed, is that it's trying to be very cinematic and artistic, I suppose. I'm not that surprised, but you know what I mean. I thought the scene with the goddesses creating Hyrule and the Triforce is very well put together. The music is already pretty good so far. Maybe not Majora's Mask level though so far yet. It does feel weird. The game starts out, I feel, with tutorial, but not overly tutorialized. You kind of talk to people optionally. And it's only once you leave the tutorial area that the big owl guy comes in and just explains everything to you really hardcore. And it's I just left the tutorial area. It's you either should have put this guy earlier or not put him in. It's very bizarrely
The
paced.
lore bomb after the tutorial.
Yeah, and it's he shows up he's already shown up 6 times. And it's dude, half the times you're not even saying it.
Zelda loves their long-winded sidekicks.
But he's not even the sidekick, because that's Navi.
Yeah, it's like side character, I guess. Yeah.
True. Okay, true, yeah. And also, I will say Navi has not been nearly as annoying as I think most people.
People are a little obsessed about that. I loved Navi growing up, so
Yeah.
it was weird for me to see everybody hated her so much and found her so annoying. Like, she was kind of annoying, but it was I like having a sidekick, so it was kind of cool to have one in a game. I think that was the first Zelda that really had a sidekick. Now, every
It
single one,
was.
it's who's gonna be the person that's next to you?
Yeah, because it's iconic.
But yeah, I've had a fondness for Navi, so I don't see what everybody else sees either.
Yeah, I don't really get it, because she's nice at the start. She's just a character, you know what I mean? Not
Yeah.
bad. And then when she joins you, it's pretty unobtrusive.
Yeah. There was a lot of times I wish she had spoke up more when I would get stuck.
Yeah, I can honestly see that, or been in a cutscene or two to give some thoughts or whatever, just character wise. But
Yeah.
she only periodically shows up. You don't even have to press the button to talk to her, unless I guess maybe if you don't do it she would, but I just did it every time. Usually she just gives a pretty basic hint, and I don't even mind that because it's not bad to be able to have a reminder if you haven't played in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it also does make sense because this is the first 3D Zelda. It is a pretty early example of what the genre is doing for probably a lot of people who started with the N64.
Right.
So I think it also makes sense to give a little bit extra direction. The owl is way more annoying than
Yeah.
Navi.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I
sure.
already knew about this, but they're evil with the way that you have to respond to him differently to not get to hear it again. Like, that's just evil.
Yeah.
It's funny, but
And me, like, I can read pretty fast. So, like, I'm usually spamming the button just to get all the text so I can speed read it and then click the next one or whatever. And I just keep pressing. And then it's like, no, here we go again. And I'm like, fuck.
here you go
Okay.
again.
Yeah. So I really had to have patience with him.
And they're evil because he asked the question differently the first time, seemingly
Yeah.
for no other
Yeah.
reason than so you'll get off guard the second time.
Yeah. Very Japanese humor.
Yeah. I mean, it is at least a funny bit, but maybe not when he appears so much.
Yeah.
I also spent like an hour, maybe not an hour, maybe 40 minutes finding the damn cuckoos in
Oh
the
God.
The what
Yeah.
now? The
a
cucks?
village. Yeah, the cuck.
The cuckoos,
Cuckoos.
the chickens.
Oh.
Yeah, the
Zelda
chicken.
chickens.
I
Oh.
got all
Yeah,
of them, and then the one that was hidden in the box kept getting me because I kept hearing the voice and thinking to myself, "Oh man, it's gonna be around here," and I never. Like I even was trying to push the box, everything. I did not realize to roll into the box to unveil it. I attacked it with the sword first.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that
all right, I
one's
guess it's
tricky.
not destructible. But yeah, it's
Wow.
neat. This is definitely one I'm going to give some updates on, but I'm enjoying it so far.
How much time have you put into this so far?
4 hours 15 minutes. So not that
So-
far because it is like
Like
a
a
Yeah.
quarter of the
30-hour
way.
game.
Right.
Yeah.
But this is one that you will be hearing updates from me in the future about. It also is fun because Majora's Mask has so many references to Ocarina of Time and like thematic connection to actually see the start instead of just hearing it. Also, very funny to see Skull Kid be like such an insanely minor character, just be like, all right, yeah, this guy's the main antagonist for the game now.
Yeah.
And I believe that's everything I got.
I guess I'll start, as always, with the stuff that I've mentioned in previous episodes, which, for one, is Gran Turismo 4. Still on that. Probably scratching at the halfway point at this point, if I'm going by the actual obligated progress that you need to get to the end. Again, this is a very open game where it has more optional stuff that you can do however the fuck you want to do it than it actually has linear progression or whatever. In the last episode, I was talking about how I was really, really putting money and time into the DeLorean, the Back to the Future car. Since then, I've had to move on to other cars, sadly. But one of them was the.
07.
Oh my god! It took a bit for me to understand. Okay, yeah, 07. Thank you. I really appreciate the respects. One of my new cars is the Renault Clio Sport 2.0. I have a bit of a thing for Renault because those are the cars that my family is driving, I guess. Like, again, one of the only 5 car manufacturers that I can actually name. I was kind of hoping that this game would have like a fucking the car that, like, I don't know, my dad owned, that I used to own or whatever before I abandoned cars forever. But those are not in here. But we do have the Renault Clio, which is a car that you can see on the streets, that I have seen on the streets before. And I did get this one specifically because, the way that this game works is that each competition has specific requirements. And there was this one competition that only allowed cars that were at max 4 meters long. Like, so specifically short cars. And this one ticked that box. And it's actually like fun to feel how this small little thing drives, because that's what Gran Turismo is good at. All of these different cars with these different, like, all of the different cars that they have in the repertoire truly feel different. There's a true emphasis on translating the individual aspects of each car in how they move over the street. Again, it's a simulation racing game,
Right.
so that is not a surprise. But this is like the highlight of the game. And even me, somebody who hates cars and does not give a fuck about them in real life, even for me, it is fun to actually notice these differences. This small little Renault street car feels completely different than the outlandish, kind of exotic and nonsensical DeLorean that I was driving before. And it's these kind of things that still are keeping me really interested in this. And it's probably the only game or the only series that will ever make me interested in actual car manufacturers, because there's actually such a fascinating invitation to explore all of these different brands of real cars, because they do all offer these different feelings and abilities in a way. Uh, I'm frequently amazed at how this game is actually managing to make me somewhat enthusiastic about real car brands. Not something I feel any other time. But yeah, I'm still racing through that thing. Right now, I'm at a point where I probably in the next session or so need to earn a new license to be able to participate in future events. And you earn licenses by completing a bunch of challenges. And honestly, these licensed challenges in Gran Turismo games are the hardest thing in the entire game every single time, and they are really annoying. And I always only strive for like barely passing, and I'm never going for like the extra gold medal or whatever. And I'm not looking forward to that. But once I get through that, I will be probably back to smooth sailing with the regular races and whatnot. So it's just what you have to do to earn your fun. And that's where I am in Gran Turismo. I'm probably going to be yapping about this for multiple episodes to come.
The one thing I will say is, don't count your chickens before you hatch about this being the only series that'll make you care about car manufacturers. There could be other
Oh.
racing games in the future.
hmm
You never know.
It's true, but unlikely, I want to say. But yeah,
I
could
mean,
be, could
you
be.
might have thought it was unlikely you get into Gran Turismo once upon a time,
That is very true. And I already looked like our family car for many, many years while I was growing up was a Renault Kangoo, like a big family car that has no reason to be in a race. And I Googled around if there's a single Gran Turismo game out there that has the Renault Kangoo, and there's one. Gran Turismo
Wow.
Ooh.
7 actually has it in its repertoire. So I,
That's awesome.
I definitely have to buy. I have to play that game at some point. I need
Yeah, you
to play.
gotta. Come on.
Yeah, I have to play a high-profile racing game that has that stupid family car of ours. That's really funny
Maybe
to
you
me.
can see how
To be,
far you can go with it.
yeah, I would. I would try to get the most out of it for sure. uh, but yeah, that's that. My own car that I used to own, a Renault Twingo, a little fucking budget car that's very popular with beginners in Europe. Unfortunately, that has never appeared in any Gran Turismo game, which made me very sad. It would be hilarious to see that shit in a video game. But alas, it shouldn't be. Another game that I've talked about recently, previously, that I'm still on, is Small Saga, the rodent-based urban fantasy RPG, which I have put quite a bit of time since the last episode, or since the last time I talked about this game. I've made a lot of progress, and I'm probably in the last third of it. It continues to be really fun with the different environments that it has. I've talked about this before, but I really love how it changes from whimsical forests of like squirrel kingdoms and whatnot, and then you're also invading like actual like urban human spaces, like I don't know, a laboratory, like an animal testing laboratory or whatever. There's a character in this game that is an escaped lab rat who uses like a surgical knife as a weapon. It's bad fucking ass. I
Yeah.
love this game so fucking much. And there was a
In a
whole,
weird way, it makes me think of Secret of Nim.
yeah, I feel like this probably takes a lot of inspiration from different like xenofiction and whatnot. I I tweeted, not tweeted, I'm not on Twitter anymore, but on Blue Sky I posted towards the developer, and I was telling them, if you ever make a Watership Down game, I will like pay you $1 million and give you a smooch on the cheek. Like that would be a dream game come true.
That'd be
Actually,
dope.
they have the skills and vibes and style for that sort of thing.
Yeah, that would be dope.
A previous major quest line in a game that I really enjoyed was also where you and your bands of queer rodents, and I mean that in more than one ways because a lot of them are openly gay, taking down like a fascist regime in the Squirrel Kingdom, and it's just like, let's fucking go. This game has more in common with the Wolfenstein series than one might think. It's pretty,
I
it's
mean,
pretty radical.
it's a pretty good sell to say that your gang of
Yeah.
gay rats killed Squirrel Hitler.
Hell fucking yeah, exactly. This game generally rules. It's probably gonna be one of like at the end of the year when I think about my favorite games that I played in 2026. This will probably be in that list for sure. It's fantastic, this thing.
Hell yeah. It's on my bucket list for a reason.
Yeah, you need to get that. I hope it's like on a steep sale at some point, but it has not yet really been out there for cheap. It's been pretty steady with its price, I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, I can't
But
complain.
someday I hope you get that.
Even off sale, it's only $19.99.
Right. Right, it's not the most expensive thing, and it does deserve the money. It's like actual
It
fucking
does.
quality. Yeah. Lot of polish on this. Other games, I got a bunch of VR games that I'm still on. Again, I'm trying to clean out my Meta store purchases, and I got 2 games here that I'm still not through with. One of which is called Mare. Although this has nothing to do with horses, I think this is more a nightmare. Mare, I'm not sure. This is a bird game.
Nightmare Moon.
This is a bird game in VR, which is really all I needed to be interested in this. And in this, it's an environmental puzzle game where you control this bird who can only land on specific points in the environment. And this bird has like a companion character, like a little girl that has to help him manipulate the environment to move on through this wordless story, this mysterious story in a fantasy world. It's a very vibe-based game. It's very like sort of ethereal and very much take in the sights and take your time and don't rush anything kind of deal. And it's just sort of like an artsy experience. Like sort of an artsy experience more than like a challenging game, but it's fun. And I'm interested to see where the story ends, which I'm probably gonna see pretty soon because this is not a long game, and I think I'm already more than halfway through with this. And another VR game that I'm on right now is called Unstung, which is a game that I find incredibly cool, but I'm not actually sure if I wanna finish it. This is a real-time strategy game in a VR space where instead of like, I don't know, building buildings and creating soldiers for your wars, you are pollinating flowers with your bees, with your beehive, and like reproducing different kinds of bees with different abilities to fight against other bug intruders in like a flower field that you walk around in this VR space. And you control them by marking like pheromone lines in the air. You basically draw lines, waypoints in your 3D VR space with the controller, which is like a unique way to control your characters in a video game, and also a really interesting way to play a real-time strategy game in general by actually moving through the space and drawing all of these lines for the characters to move in and whatnot. But I suck at it. I'm really bad. I'm losing a lot of the. It's only has 5 levels. I believe it's a very short thing, but I'm not even getting through most of these on normal difficulty. I'm definitely gonna have to do easy difficulty, and I think even then I suck bad enough that I fail sometimes. Just because, of course, there's a big emphasis on timing your resources right and having the bugs at the right spots at the right time and like not running out of bees. And I guess I'm just bad at all of that, especially, of course, since you actually have to keep in mind this entire space around you and it's not like compressed to like, I don't know, what you can see on the screen with like a HUD or whatever. You actively have to run around your little flower field in your room or whatever. It's a super cool concept, and I would love to see more games in this style, but I feel like I lack the skill to get through this one. I don't know. Uh, so I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna beat this or if this is gonna be in a retired list next time. We will see. And then the final two games that I'm currently on are both pinball games by the same developer. I'm back on my pinball grind. Pinball FX is a brand of pinball games, which is probably like the biggest thing, the biggest name in the space of digital pinball stuff. Pinball FX, the 2023 release, is currently like the main thing that people go to for 3D pinball because they have officially licensed tables, both like real tables from real life, digitalized, or as well as like original tables just for this game. And they have this whole free to play system where you buy individual tables if you want them and sort of that sort of thing. A huge active online competitive scene, a million different game modes and like challenges and whatnot. Like you have always something to do. It's the Fortnite of pinball games.
The Fortnite
And
of pinball.
I've
It
been
truly is though.
yes.
It
Uh,
truly is.
My local arcade has a few cabinets that you can connect to and like download your scores from the cabinets to their like
what?
online thing. It's so crazy. I was
That's
like, what
pretty
are you
cool.
talking about? Like you can save your score to your account from the arcade cabinets.
That is
I was like, I didn't
crazy. I've
even know
never
that
heard
was
that.
possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that sounds actually quite dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's also like nowadays digital pinball tables where you can have a physical table with a screen that presents the digital pinball table. So you basically have a
that's
million pinball tables in one real machine. And I think that also connects to these FX games. But I didn't know like
mean,
Ultimate
real
pinball.
tables. Yeah.
that's like an iPad at the arcade though.
Yes. It sort of is. Yeah. You could just put two buttons on your PC screen and then have a pinball table,
Yeah.
kind of.
It'd be quite the same
I
vibe,
like
I
having the
think.
physical table.
Not the same vibe,
But
Yeah.
yeah, but essentially it's kind of
Right.
there.
yeah. It's kind of
Although,
cool.
man, it would be
But
cool if we had like a coffee table, and the coffee table
yeah,
had a screen in the middle, and you could turn it on and play pinball with buttons on the side.
yeah, sure.
That would be sick actually.
Yeah,
I can see the D&D crowd getting that before pinball, but
yeah, that definitely exists. Even my D&D group has like a screen table thing, like
Oh,
a DIY thing. Yeah,
Damn, I just have roll 20.
yeah, right. But yeah, this is cool. So this is the first I've tried other like pinball releases that have like similar offerings, but this is the first time actually looking at the big FX series and whatnot. I only own a couple of tables, of course, since again you buy each table as a DLC pack, kind of. My favorites so far, though, are definitely like there's a Star Trek: The Next Generation table that I really like and I want to like get good at and like try the different game modes on and whatnot. And a My Little Pony pinball table, which is very fun.
Oh, that's where Twilight's pencil. Or
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
It's just I have never
I was
watched a
wondering
single
when she was
episode of
gonna
My
pop
Little
up.
Pony, but you know the pinball table is
Dude, I'm
fun.
telling you right now, I was big into My Little Pony Friendship is Magic at the time.
Of
I
course,
was one. I feel like that's just not surprising,
Roy the
honestly.
Brony. Yeah,
I mean, if that turned into have a negative connotation a different way, yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying looking at the bright and colorful Little Pony table, and I need to get a good score on this before World War III starts. So I I really appreciate that this exists. This is the vibe that I'm in right now. It helps getting through the day. These sort of things.
The most important thing before World War III is to beat the My
Yes!
Little Pony pinball table.
Yes!
Let's go.
Fucking exactly. I need to unlock
mean-
the wizard mode on the My Little Pony pinball table.
Yeah, wait, what is
It's
the
just-
wait? Who is there a character with the wizard mode? Because I want to know which one
No.
it is.
No.
Damn.
Well, wizard mode is just a general pinball mechanic that
Yeah.
all or like most pinball tables have. If you have a specific requirements that you do, the wizard mode is kind of like the ultimate thing that happens once you get everything done on the table. And
okay.
that's what I'm trying to get on the My Little Pony table.
How
not
close do you think you are to wizard mode?
I got very close once. For the My Little Pony table, it's very simple too. You pretty much just have to trigger 5 mini games by shooting 5 lanes and doing their thing, whatever the fuck. It's pretty simple.
Oh,
And
is it like all the elements of harmony?
Yes, it is.
That makes sense.
And then once you do that, you have to hit like some final hole in the table and wizard mode starts. I've gotten all of the 5 lanes activated before, but then I lost my balls before I could actually hit the wizard mode hole, unfortunately. But that's my goal right now. I wanna clear this My Little Pony table. And then again, look at like the different game modes, and I think each table has like challenges they call quest lines and whatever, where you have to fulfill different tasks. Which
This
is
sounds
cool
pretty
that they have
cool for a
this.
pinball table, honestly.
Yeah. Last year at some point I talked about the Stern pinball collection on Steam, which also has, pinball tables and like quest thingies, like tasks to fulfill, which were also nice. But this FX release clearly has a bit more polish, a bit more of a budget behind it. It's not surprising that this is like the big name in the game of digital pinball games. I can definitely tell that. And Pinball FX, the main game, is one thing, but they also have, and I find this hilarious, Pinball FX Midnight, it's called now. Up until a couple days ago, they just called it Pinball M, and it stood for M-rated because these are
Oh.
M-rated pinball games, which
okay.
had as an individual things to not like mess up the rating of the main thing, the main
Right.
release. And these are like all like horror-based pinball tables with like blood and
Here
gore and
I
like
was
creepy
expecting
monsters.
this is where Matt was gonna find
Yeah,
his piss and sex.
See, there's oh my god, from those Senran Kagura people, that is like a whole ass not safe for work loot pinball game on Steam.
Wait, what
so
is
that's definitely where I gonna get that.
The name skipped my brain when I was looking at Duke Nukem's Big Shot Pinball.
These are just gory. I'm kind of disappointed, actually.
Yeah, it is kind of funny to have pinball games claim to be like bloody and gory and spooky. What the fuck is it? Oh my god, there's like a proper like loot, like not safe for work
Peach ball.
pinball release by those Senran Kagura people or
It
whatever
looks
the
like,
hell.
let's see, Senran Kagura Peach Ball?
Peach ball, yeah.
There you go.
Senran Kagura Peach Ball. Yeah, that's the one. That's I own that, but I haven't played
on
that yet.
Nintendo
Yeah, let's fucking go. So that's where you get
I mean, I
the
guess you gotta get to
M-rated
it,
pinball
man.
experience. That's not like for the blood and gore.
'Cause
That's
you
a
don't even-
different M-rated kind of pinball experience.
Because you don't even need to use one of your emulations for it.
I will play that this probably at some point this year. Yeah, no, I bought that shit fair and square. But for now, I'm on the horror pinball tables, I guess. And again, this is a free-to-play release first and foremost, where you buy the individual
Duke
tables,
Nukem
and
table.
they got shit like a Chucky table, a Dead by Daylight table. They have John Carpenter's The Thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't care about the Duke Nukem one, but they have John Carpenter's The Thing as a table, which is I haven't bought that thing yet, but I really, really wanna spend time on that at some point. What you get for free at the beginning is just like an original Lovecraftian horror table with like a big old squid monster and like a weird tumor like Shoggoth on the table and whatnot, and you can like shoot in the individual holes and like kill
That does sound
cultists
fun.
in the like narrative of this pinball table and whatnot. It's pretty fun. It's pretty good. And this also has like sort of like quote unquote campaign things where it gives you different tasks to complete on this table, I guess, to unlock stuff and whatnot. It's good stuff. And also, I started because of this game to play this on a vertical computer screen instead of a horizontal because it has the game natively has the option to turn it by 90 degrees. So you actually have the pinball table, the whole length of your screen. And I already have a third screen that's vertical anyway. So now I'm actually playing pinball on there, and it's a game changer. Let me tell you, it's pretty fucking great. I never considered that before, but it makes total fucking sense.
All right.
But yeah, that's
Also, I
that's all
gotta
my gaming right now. I'm done.
Yeah.
before you go, I do gotta say, yeah, this is indeed horny pinball, right? Because I went to go look at the trailer. The
The
Senran
beach ball he's
Kagura
looking
one,
at.
Oh, beach ball, yeah.
and yeah, it sure is.
Have you ever seen a pinball
Crazy.
table that has a character outfit DLC? I think this might be the first one. Peach ball.
You could just have a crossover with
It's fucking
Infinity Nikki
stupid.
people.
This
Are you gonna get
pinball
it?
game has DLC worth of 70 euros just for like character customization
There was
shit.
honestly something
A
else I was gonna
pinball
say, and now my
game.
brain's
I don't
forgotten. So
think I'm gonna go for that DLC.
Uh,
Leah, what are you playing these
Yeah, okay.
days?
I'm still doing
Yeah.
Wordle and Myrtle, still doing the dailies. I finished the last Myrtle book that I have. The next one comes out in like October, so all I have now is just the browser games. So there's not really much else to say about that, except that because of the lack of other Myrtle to do, I have reverted to Logic Puzzles, which is the mobile game that is the exact same puzzle setup. So I haven't played that in a while because I was doing the books.
Oh.
So I just completed the daily challenges from September 25. So I have a bit to catch up on. Still doing Yoshi's Island. I went back and I did a few levels for power ups because I was down to like 2 lives. But then I lost all those power ups that I got, and I did get a game over, but nothing actually happened in the randomizer or in the game.
Oh,
It
yeah.
just went back to like it normally does. It just resets you to the main screen. So I mentioned it in the to the other users, but I
Oh.
haven't heard from them, so I don't know. I'm gonna just keep playing through the levels that I can do and see, what I can do. And after that, this is gonna get retired probably because this is way too complicated, randomized for me to play. So
There's a specific sadness to play like a cross-player randomizer and nobody else is doing their thing.
the way it randomized, it just locked us all out because like certain people need things in the levels that I can't complete. It's like, well, I can't do anything actually, and there's like 4 levels that they're
Yeah.
like, I need you to complete these levels. And I'm like, okay, and I go through and I'm like, I can't because this is missing. I can't even do the things that will unlock things for me for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think that'll probably be the last time I try randomizing.
I mean, we could do one
Um,
together because with the podcast, it actually will be a driving force to keep us going.
Dang. Lesson learned. So we can yell live on air at each other when the other person is not doing their
It can
job.
be a use for the rant corner.
Oh my god. Yeah. Revive that, please.
Oh gosh, yeah.
NHL 22, I'm still playing. I haven't really done the career mode in a while. Been doing like little spurts of NHL 1s now. I think last time I said that I have to complete like 45 games or something to unlock like all the characters and the stages that you can play the NHL 1s in. So I think I'm at like 20 games played so far. The hilarious thing is that you can unlock the stages, but they're all half of a rink, and you can't see outside the rink unless like it starts and it shows you like the whole like crane view or whatever. So like I'm like, oh, I want to try this stage out, and then I play the game and I'm like, Did that
No.
change? I have no idea what was different because I can't see outside the rink. All I'm looking at is the rink. So, um, but yeah, I haven't
Great.
played as much of the career mode because I've been watching real life hockey. But now it's about to be a playoff season, and all my teams probably at the end of this podcast are going to be eliminated. So,
Rep
there's like a game going on right now for the women. So it's like, yeah,
07.
yeah. So I will.
Yeah.
My mom and I have
Oh
always had this
07.
thing where we have different opinions on it. She watches the playoffs to root against the people that beat our team because since they beat us, they shouldn't get to win either. But I feel like if they beat us, they better have done it for a reason, so they better win. So I root for them. So
Makes
so we'll see, exactly what happens.
question. Who do you think is gonna win though?
In the NHL playoffs,
Yeah, in the NHL playoffs.
um I would say the Sabres, I'm hoping for,
Sabres.
or the
Weren't
Avalanche.
they the
So,
Sabres, aren't they the ones who broke the playoff drought they had going? That'd be
yeah,
cool.
they're like the gem of this season because everybody was just like, "You suck," and then they were like, "Watch us," and they made it to the playoffs. So everybody's amazed and shocked about it. So, um,
That sounds
and
cool.
the
Then it
Avalanche are
would be
just a
more
good team.
reason to
So,
make fun of the New York Jets.
and also, yeah, technically Buffalo is still a New York team, so I can root for them and not feel like it's
Oh, hell
weird.
yeah.
Oh,
Like if
true,
I was
true.
rooting for like Boston or whatever.
Yeah,
And
you can't
for
root
the
for Boston for New
PWHL,
York.
for the PWHL, I wanted to be the Victoire
Mm,
to win, but I'll take anybody besides Frost because they won the last 2 times, so they need to sit down.
Fuck off with the three-peat.
Yeah.
I like how
Um,
Matt's probably still over there like, what the fuck are these people talking about?
ice sports.
This
Um,
is nonsense. I have no idea what you're talking about.
ice sports. My next game I have on here is Elder Scrolls Online, which the only session that I've had of this lately has been what was supposed to be a nice little gaming night with my guildies, but ended up being me spending an hour updating my game on my laptop while everybody else was watching the Artemis shuttle splash down. So when I finally got into the game, everybody was kind of done with what they were doing. So then I just like updated my checklist versus my spreadsheet, and then it was like, okay, and I'm just gonna close this game.
Yeah.
But the thing about this game is I almost feel like retiring it soon because at this point, I don't think I will ever get around to the DLC. And I don't know that the original storyline is really like interesting me. Like I have 3 characters in each of the factions just so I can see the storylines from all the perspectives. But like none of them are like that interesting to me and I don't really care about Elder Scrolls as I thought I would care a lot more
Yeah, me
when I
neither.
started playing Skyrim and I haven't finished playing Skyrim either. And I was like I'm just kind of like losing interest in this world altogether. And obviously this
Yeah.
is an MMO, so like they're just gonna keep adding stuff. So I was like, my goal was only to do the original storyline, but they like just recently did some updates that everybody hates because now they're
Hell
doing
yeah.
like Fortnite seasons now instead of just doing like regular stuff. And they took out like the login rewards, which was like the only reason I would open the game every day was to like get the login reward. And I was like, well, since it's open, let me do some things. So now there's no reason for me to open the game unless I like force myself to open it. So I was like, this is becoming more of a slog now because like everything is built for obviously people who have been playing the game for longer. And like as an early user or whatever, with like a lower level character, I'm just kind of like, I'm just doing things by myself, which kind of was the reason why I picked this MMO to begin with, because a lot of it you can do solo, but like all of my guildies are starting to like lose interest also. So I was like, okay, if I can't even do like the group stuff and the solo stuff is getting boring, I don't see how much longer I'm going to stick around. So we'll see. While waiting, I thought I was gonna finish this by then, but apparently waiting
Yeah.
around takes a long time.
Waiting around doesn't need take long.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've explained this one before, but it's a short, quirky game. I feel like Matt would enjoy it. It's kind of like
Oh.
Time Flies in a
Oh.
way, where it's like the whole concept is kind of like waiting. So it's like waiting for the bus, waiting in lines, waiting on your lunch break or whatever. But It's funny because I'm oddly stuck on the stage where you wait for your health to level up in a mobile game. Because like there's like a little ad you're supposed to watch,
What the
and
fuck?
the ad is gonna give you like points, so like your heart meter goes up. And I can't get the ad to stop playing. It just keeps rebuffering on me, and I'm like, okay.
It's like real life.
I've played the demo of this, and I've played that level in the demo, but I also played the demo for Is This Seat Taken? And when I opened Is This Seat Taken's full game, they pushed all my progress from the demo into the game. They didn't do that here, so I have to play this level that I'm stuck on now in the actual game, and it's crazy.
That's wow.
Might actually end up having to retire it if I can't figure out how to get that ad to stop playing on me. Because I've booted up 3 times trying to get it to work, and it still does the same thing. So, um, yeah, the other thing I have here is Wingspan. So, like Matt said earlier, we played a game of this last, and I still don't fully understand it, and easily got destroyed. But yeah, at least we have been saying that we were going to do that
Yeah.
play that game for a while now. So got that out of the way. Probably won't come back to this game myself. I want to look at like all the like expansions and stuff that they have available. Go through those tutorials, which will probably be another 6 hours of my life. Just because I'm very curious to see like what else is there. And it's funny because one of not an influencer, but like a bird account I follow online also just got the board game of
Mm.
this. And they were like, this tutorial is taking us like all day to like figure out. And I was like, bro, the video game, and
Yeah.
that seems worse to like have to do with the board game part of it, where it doesn't just do things for you.
Yeah, I would hate to
So
play this physical. Yeah.
yeah, so that's basically it. But go birds, but not like the Eagles football team, just actual birds. I downloaded something that's not really a game per se, but it's a self-care app that's called Finch.
Oh.
I have been avoiding downloading this because a lot of people were talking about it, and I'm like dedicated to this other productivity tasks goals app that I've been using just because I have a pro account and it's free. But I do like that they have like a small interaction, like you can add friends, and like your friends finches can come over to your house and hang out with you and go on adventures, and you can buddy up for tasks and stuff. So it's kind of like for somebody who needs a little bit more socialization these days, like it's nice to get like dumb little notifications like your pinch will be like, I'm super proud of you and can't wait to hear from you today. I wonder what she's up to. I'm dead inside, so a lot of times I find that cloying and saccharine when I see stuff like
No, I
that.
get that. Yeah.
But it's like at a point in my life where I'm just like, oh, actually I needed to hear that today, thank you. you
Damn.
know and so it does have its place, not to get too real, but it's I need more of that these days, so I will take what I can
It's
get.
right in there with needing to beat My Little Pony pinball before World War III.
Yeah. It's definitely the same thing. Yeah.
I guess that's just the mood.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you ever play Bird Alone?
No,
I
I'm concerned about playing it.
Yeah, I'm hesitating to recommend it. I feel like that might be too much.
There was a point where I was gonna download it, and I looked at some of the
Mhm.
reviews, and I saw.
But I was just
Yeah.
wondering. All right, I guess that is moving us on to the quote-unquote discussion topic for this episode, which is a wild free-for-all in a sort of way. As a discussion today, we are going to talk about a slew of things. Like I said at the top of the episode, my co-hosts have no idea what the fuck this is gonna entail. I did a little thing, and we're gonna just see where it leads us. I was digging around the ancient depths of the How Long to Beat forums, and I was just looking at all the funny little things that people were talking about, like 10 plus years ago. And I was taking a bunch of those, every now and then somebody asks a question towards the How Long to Beat community, and I grabbed a couple of those old ones, and we
All
could
right.
just, lightning round style, see if we can answer some of these questions from the past. Some of them are weird, some of them are results of their time, some of them are fairly general, and I think we're gonna do a soft start, and I'm gonna relay a question to you two here that was posted by username GamerKitty11
Gamer
a whole
11.
a whole as 14 years ago in 2012.
Oh, you were lying.
they
These
asked-
are ancient.
Yeah, and they asked, what exactly are backlogs?
Um,
What are
what
games?
are video games? I mean, the backlog
What are
is
games?
the games that you own and haven't played yet.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But do you? I guess Leah, at least first you answer. I guess.
Yeah, I would say the way I see it is, yeah, games that you have access to, I
Right.
guess. And because there's also like subscription services and stuff that you have access to and want to play in the future.
For me, I don't include the want to
I
play
mean, a lot of people
part.
just tend to use it as just like, yeah, yeah. I feel like a lot of people tend to just be like, those are games I want to play
Yeah.
at someday or whatever.
What I like here is that we're pretty much all on the same page, and none here feel like it's an obligation, which seems to be a widespread problem among gamers, that they feel a pressure and obligation to clear their backlog.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like any of us is feeling that.
I don't, because I finished the ones that I had pressured myself to do.
Okay, fair enough.
Because I had stuff that from like PlayStation 3 era of games that I had wanted to play, and I was always concerned that the servers were gonna shut
Right.
down, games were gonna go away before I had updated them. So I was like, I need to finish like all these old physical games that I have before I can't connect to whatever server. So that was the main pressure for me. Once I got those out of the way, now I'm just like, okay, like if a free Epic game isn't there when I go to play it, whatever. I don't care. All the ones that I have bought and, spent more money than I usually spend on games now, which is now it's like $10 or less if I'm gonna buy a game.
Right,
So
yeah. Mm.
anything that I've spent, 30 plus on, I have gotten that out of the way. So
Very
now I'm just like,
disciplined.
now I'm the chill person. Before I was not.
Okay.
I mean, for me,
I have ascended.
since I grew up poor, early in my
Yeah.
life, it's just the backlog got finished because there's only so many options. Then after that, like currently the amount of games on my backlog is over 3,000. So I think any kind of I gotta finish my
Yeah.
backlog is like, yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck am I doing at that
It's
point?
nonsense.
To me, the
Yeah.
backlog is just a list of options.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I will
It's just a
do
library that you can peruse.
exactly, it's what I own. Now, what I will do is like with the game of the month thing, I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna clear out part of my backlog from 1999 or racing games or whatever. But that's more just like choosing a
Yeah,
focus so that
Right. Yeah.
I don't drown in the
Yeah.
options, because option
Mhm.
paralysis can be a real thing too.
Exactly. That's why I
Yeah.
limit my emulation this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I usually have a goal for the year
Yeah.
too, just to narrow that
We
down.
might
Like this year where I'm supposed to be playing Epic games and I'm not.
we
So
might have some questions about goals later on as well in my list. But okay, we answered the backlog questions sufficiently. Another more general question, and I feel like a natural continuation from the previous question. Scheidem asked 11 years ago in 2015, how do you go about beating games?
I play them, and then I beat them.
Yeah.
literally.
I do
Interesting.
move through time in a linear manner. I do have to agree with Leah there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
I guess it's more
it's
like
good.
how you decide that you've completed a game,
I feel like with most games,
I
it's
mean,
kind of
which
obvious, right?
is
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Well, that's the thing. Some aren't. Like, how do you beat Tetris? How do you beat
Well,
a fighting
also
game?
fighting
Like, do you
game.
have to, like, in a fighting game, do you have to play as every character and play all of them, or do you just play once and get to the first credits and you're done? Racing games, like, do you unlock everything, or do you have to play
For
every car?
racing
Like,
games, what I do is like, let's say with like Ridge Racer
oh
Type
gosh.
4, where there's a storyline, right? If I go through it once, I beat the game.
yeah,
But if I go through all of them, that's like a bunch of them, that's main plus. And then if I do everything and collect every
Yes,
car,
yes.
that's 100%.
Yep.
For Tetris, because I did mark that game as completed, I set like a specific
Me too.
goal, and once I reach that goal, even if I continue to play it, I've beaten it. Or like in Tetris
Yep.
DX, it has like the rocket ship or whatever.
Sure. I mean, original Tetris as well. But yeah, with these high score hunting arcade games, if you counted beaten after getting one score in one game, that's good for me. I feel that that's a fair argument. Who gives a shit? There's no police that is telling you what's a beaten game or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's not really a problem
Are
anyway.
you sure the game pollution police is a serious issue? That's why we've got a piss to get away from
Yeah,
them.
ACAP includes the game police, dog. Next question, another great one that really asks us what we think deep inside of our heart. Mallory asked in 2018, 8 years ago, not too long ago, what keeps you playing?
I enjoy video games.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Games that are on my backlog.
The backlog. Yeah, right. Here, there we go. The backlog keeps us playing, and that's why it's good to never finish.
For me, like,
it's exactly what I'm saying.
you know, for me, the number one thing is, I know it's just like a self-evident answer, but it's the fact I just enjoy playing video games. If like
Yeah.
2 years from now, I was like, man, I just don't enjoy video games anymore, I would stop. I'd probably try to come back and see if it was just like getting burnt out. But you know, I'm not gonna force myself if I don't enjoy it. Outside of that, I do enjoy, you know, going through the history of video games and writing reviews and
Yeah.
doing spreadsheets and stuff like that. But obviously, the main thing is just I enjoy games. I mean, sometimes I'll beat a game for other reasons, but that's a bit different than why I play video games overall. Because there's definitely been times sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of bored. I feel like I haven't finished like any of my projects or stuff for a while. I'm just gonna beat some like shitty ass 1 hour platformer, and then I'll get a little, you know, I'll feel a little bit better that I did something, and then I'll go do other shit. And that's why I do shit like Sonic Blast.
Hell yeah. So natural next question here, and I already like sort of like touched on actually in your answer. When do you give up on a game? Asked by Mike D879 in 2015. When do you give up on a game?
When I hate it.
It's mainly when I.
If it's frustrating me to the point
Yeah.
that I'm going to like break my controller, or like every day it just feels like a slog, kind of like Yoshi's Island is right now.
Shit.
But like it's like a struggle to play with. It's not fun. I'm not getting anywhere, and I'm not getting like the dopamine hit of, you know, struggling only to succeed. It just keeps getting stuck or whatever. Then that's usually when other ones I will give up on a game because it's just not fun.
Right.
And it's like it might be too easy also sometimes. Like if a game is like super easy but it's like a long game, I'm like, bro, like if there's not going to be like any sort of struggle and I'm not learning anything and I'm not progressing like skill wise, I was like, why am I still here? I don't need to do like a lot of those mobile games that are like unending, where it's just like I'm not gonna get to like level 3000. Like I'm gonna play this for a while to get like the little, you know, hit of playing the game, and then be like, okay, uninstall that and be done with it.
I mean, on my end, as you've noticed, it's pretty rare I just intentionally retire or get rid of a game. I would say like the main reasons I stop are like Leah said, game is just uninteresting and it's long enough that I like if it's a short game, even if it's uninteresting, a lot of times I'll complete it because like if I'm 20 minutes away from completing a game and it's not that engaging, like you know, what am I doing? I'm just gonna be like complete it, and I'll get a little hit of dopamine as I add it to my list of games I beat. I think, but if it's like 20 hours, you know, that's a different story. I think a lot of times when I stop playing a game, it kind of just slips my mind, or I just naturally move on to other things, and I just don't feel a pull to come back. Is like probably the most common thing.
Yeah.
And then like if it's a game I do want to beat, I'll eventually come back and beat it. Sometimes like with Pokemon Blue and some other stuff, years later.
Yeah.
Which is one reason I don't retire things, because I know I'm the type of guy to like 3 years later come back and beat something. What about you, Matt? Because I feel like sometimes you haven't been answering some of these questions. So how about you?
Yeah, I'm just asking them. I'm not saying that I'm answering. No, I'm very much with Leah as well. The games that I do give up are most of the time situations where the friction of the game doesn't come from its challenges, but more from its failed mechanics, or where do not vibe with its flow, or they are too easy and do not serve any challenge. If you don't like, even it doesn't need to be hard, but you have to have a task to overcome to make it interesting. Except, I guess, if you have like a super engaging story, I guess. But other than that, I do need mechanics that challenge me at least a little bit to actually give me something to strive for. That's like the core element of video games in a way. Um, but giving up on games is one thing. This is a question that I'm actually very interested in hearing from you, which is also like the final of the more like general questions. After that, we can dive into more specific categories.
All right.
But Tyler the Gamer 2000 asked in 2018, what are games that you refuse to play? Can y'all think of like one or two titles that you will never play?
I'm not sure I can think of any.
Riot Games, anything that they make, I will avoid them.
Fair.
I can't say that because I've been playing.
And
'cause
any
I've been
future
really like-
titles from Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that there's any immediately off the top of my head. I would say, like, theoretically, things that are like, offensive, I guess. Like, I don't know, some game that's like very pro-Nazi theoretically or something. Like, I have no,
Right.
you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like something that's like really a recruiting tool for white supremacists or whatever. Obviously, there's no interest there.
Yeah.
Harry Potter kind of is in a weird
Yeah.
situation there,
Yeah.
but that's also the kind of thing where
Yeah.
because I didn't care for Harry Potter long beforehand, I've never been interested. Like, I already
Yeah.
just wasn't
Mhm.
drawn to it, so it's
Same.
not really that I'm like, I'll never play Harry Potter games. It's like I just already wasn't interested either way.
Yeah,
Too.
it's fortunately
Yeah.
just easy. We're privileged. I feel
Right.
that as well.
We're privileged
Yeah.
by not having to interact with like the
Yeah.
shitty person behind the scenes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel for the fans. It sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
like,
the only Harry Potter connection that I had was Quidditch.
Yeah,
and
same.
I can enjoy that outside of
Sure.
right.
I can enjoy that outside of the books and stuff.
Oh.
So that's fine.
AI generated games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like low hanging fruit.
I
but
feel
that
like
is something I
unfortunately
love
that's
doing.
gonna be harder to do.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, but there's a difference
There are a few
between.
games that I was waiting for, and then they mentioned that they were gonna use AI, or it was like a headline about it, and I was like, well, delete
Right.
that from the wish list. And
I mean,
Yeah.
backlog,
to be fair, I don't think it really counts if like you didn't know beforehand. It's more
Yeah,
like things
right,
that
yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Sure.
if I already have access to the game, it's fine, but yeah, beforehand.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, it's funny kind of because I have through my life experienced multiple times that something I was not interested in for many years suddenly actually became interesting. So I guess I cannot truly, with full confidence, exclude any type or genre of game to never like interest me down the line. But I feel like things like like 100-hour RPGs I don't think they will ever appeal to me. I will never ever touch most of those Final Fantasy games, especially not Final Fantasy 12
Hey, you
Alpha.
never know.
Uh,
You might try one, and it's the one that hits like crack because there's some good ones. For
there's
sure.
one or two Final Fantasy games that I do want to try, but again, like most of those, I will never touch. And aside from games that present a political stance that I do not agree with, I mean that's a given, I guess. There's farming games will also I will never ever touch a Harvest Moon game. That's for sure. I will also probably never touch Terraria. Those are just some titles that I have like minus
Bro doesn't want
interest
to
in.
farm.
No, no.
There's certain genres where they don't really change up anything, and the farming games are one of those. Like I love Harvest Moon for the Super
Mhm.
Nintendo, but I have no desire to play another Harvest Moon because that game did what it needed to do. The end. Like I don't need 50 different games where it's like now the farm is on an island, now the farm is in space.
In
Like no,
space.
Now you're farming slimes. Like, I
Right.
don't need this. So,
Okay. So, in the interest
so
of time,
it appeals to some people, just not
yeah,
to
it
me.
definitely appeals to a lot of
But yeah.
people. So, in the interest of time, because I do have like 30 questions or whatever on my list, but I do have a couple. Just I'm gonna give you some categories, and you can choose which one we wanna go into.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear then, I guess.
So, we got 3 categories basically. Category A, advice. Category B, future plans. And category C, philosophy and opinions. Which one would
What
you
was
want to
category
go into
A?
today? A is advice.
Oh,
People
advice. I
asking
thought you said devise.
questions.
I'm like, devising what?
No. Advice. What are you feeling for?
I don't know. Good question. I mean, I do like philosophy and opinions, but I don't know if, about the vibe right there. Long-term plans is probably the least interesting
I
to me.
was
'Cause I
gonna
don't
say
have
A
a
or
ton.
B, but
Well, let's do A then.
You have to remember that these were written in the past. So you might, what they consider future plans might have already been, is your past.
No, I assumed future plans was like what we would do for the future.
the time travel of it all.
Okay, how about we do one question of each category and you can get
Yeah,
like a feel
give us
for this.
give us an idea and then we can decide.
The taste.
Okay,
Yeah.
so category advice. How to turn back into Mario? This was asked by.
What the fuck does that even mean?
This
This
was
does
asked
not
by.
tell me anything about the category.
This was asked by
Forget about
Eka
touching grass. Just touch a Goomba.
in 2018.
Oh.
Touch a Goomba.
All right, Matt. What would you answer this person with? Since you're hitting us hard to start.
I have context, so it's not fair. I know what the fuck they mean.
Oh.
Getting touched by a Goomba makes
How'd
sense.
you-
I guess you're turning from Super Mario back to Mario. Yeah,
I mean,
get
I
that.
would take out the
Mario.
game and I would start a Mario game you can play as Mario.
Yeah.
You're Mario
So what-
now. Bam.
I like both of those answers. What they're actually talking about is Super Mario 64 DS, where you could choose other characters, and I guess, yeah. But I like that actually.
I mean, Roy's answer works.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
Just take out the game and start it again.
And you put in Super Mario 64. You're Mario.
Sure. So that was the advice category.
Mario only edition. Oops, all Mario.
In the plans category, yeah, these are gonna be weird. User TJ990 asked back in 2014.
Oh god, for a moment I thought it was gonna be TJ Henry Yoshi.
What games have you beaten in July 2014?
Let's find out.
Probably nothing, honestly. Actually, probably nothing. I probably didn't beat
Were you
anything.
not playing
that month,
games in
most
July
likely.
2014?
So
What
the thing
happened?
with 2014 is that was kind of a weird time where I didn't have the current consoles, and I had Steam, but my computer wasn't very good for playing a lot of games. I'd say a lot of games I was playing probably wasn't stuff that would we like traditionally be in. I want to say that's like around with when Hearthstone came out. So I was probably playing Hearthstone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
March 11th. But like you don't beat Hearthstone really. It's just like an eternal multiplayer game. So I wouldn't say I beat it that time.
That's fair.
I don't have anything logged for 2014. I have 2 games in 2013 and 9 games in 2016.
The first Mario Kart 8 came out in 2014? Jesus.
Oh my god.
God, it's been that long.
What's I doing in 2014?
Mario Kart is eternal. Okay, I feel like
if I beat anything in 2014, it was probably stuff like a random Pokemon game I was replaying or something. But I'm gonna say most likely I didn't beat anything. I definitely didn't. I mean, I could see if I record anything, but I doubt it.
If I was playing anything in 2015, it was probably itch games or 3DS games.
Yeah,
so
I got
probably
nothing
like
for
Adventure Time or
2015.
something. If that wasn't later.
that's fine. We tried. That's the sort of shit that's in the plans
I
category.
like how that went right in my gaming flag or whatever.
The unknown times.
I was like,
the
let's find out
darkness.
nothing
Yeah.
actually.
Right.
Yeah.
So in the philosophy and opinions category, we got, this is a pretty big category. This has questions like, The user asking for trouble asked for more than just trouble when in 2017 they posted the question, are the most played games in the world hurting creativity? Now let's put our thinking caps on and get this one figured
I
out.
mean, most likely, probably not. In the sense that most likely the most played games are probably like random mobile games we've never heard of, played by people who don't interact with games at all.
Fair, yeah. But like if
I mean, they're
yeah,
also pushing like popular opinion. So whatever is popular, like that's why we have all these live service games now. Also, where people are like that. People like that. Okay, let's make all of them.
But is that
So,
even true? Because I don't
uh,
even think those are the most played games. I feel like they're
I don't.
not.
No, I don't think that they are. But I mean, trends. Money follows trends, essentially. So,
Yeah, but
like anything
I
that's
think the
popular
trend.
will get lots of clones.
I don't even think it's because it's popular. I think the trend is that you hope for like enough whales to make $50 bajillion, even if like barely anyone plays the game. So I don't even know if that really, like, I do agree with the general thought. I just don't know if it works with this specific question/idea.
I don't know if this is the user's thought, but I could see it in the way that I've said this before, that I think like the most popular high budget games, they all just try to do everything, jack of all trades, but not doing anything focused specifically, anything good specifically. And I feel like there is some creativity lost there because they are just trying to cover everything instead of innovating on a specific thing.
The
That's
thing
how I could
is, I
see
play a lot of
this.
Nintendo games, and they don't really
Yeah.
do that. They tend to kind of go the opposite and be very focused in a lot of times, in my opinion.
I don't know if they are
I
very
don't know.
creative though. They stick to the guns as
I'd say
well these
some,
days.
but
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't know. Like, what games that are real? Actually, here's the question: what year was this posted again?
28, 2017.
So, like, was it specifically stuff? Because leaving aside right now, thinking about 20, if this question is asked in 2017, definitely not. 2017 had a bunch of really popular games that I did not think were like really standard. So I think I'm gonna say at minimum in 2017, I really disagree with it. Because that's like Nier Automata, Breath of the Wild, Hollow Knight, Super Mario Odyssey, the new Resident Evil, stuff like Cuphead. No, I'm gonna say in 2017 at least. No. If anything, I think the gaming industry might be in a better place if it took more from the really big games of that kind of year, because it
Hmm.
wasn't a bunch of live service games and the like people were talking about. That was a year with a lot of really huge single player games that a lot of people really enjoyed.
Yeah.
The context for the user is that they just see a lot of IP sequels and a lot of online multiplayer games like Counter-Strike and Dota and Team
I mean,
Fortress,
that's
and
fair
that's it.
across all of the artists industries, really. Like we have sequels and remakes and reboots and remasters about movies, TV, video games. Like Madonna is coming out with a sequel album. Like even music
True.
is getting in on
Yeah.
it. Like
No, that is
True.
a problem
so
in media in
To
general.
me,
That's true.
I mean, well,
yeah.
I would also make the argument that, I mean, if we want to get really philosophical, this is a topic I've thought about in other ways. But there's also the argument about how much creativity even exists in the way that some
Uh-oh.
people talk about it.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
And,
everything has been
you
done
know,
before, right?
the ideas of authenticity, how in the past, you go back to Greek plays, a lot of times the ideal wasn't being creative and different, but how you portrayed something and put your thoughts into it and so on, rather than,
Yeah,
oh, it should be new, per se. So, I think if you want to go
Right.
really far, there's always stuff like that. But I
that
think
is
to an
true.
extent, IP and remakes and stuff has always existed, to the point where there are literally Greek plays that are famous as like high art, which are just remakes of older Greek plays with new names and characters
Right.
and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
So I think to an extent that's just part of the human condition, how the human brain works.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of folklore and folk tales also just repeat each
Yeah,
other
yeah.
too. So it's just how humans be.
These types of questions come from the same space as has the video game industry gone downhill and whatnot, because they often just
Right.
ignore the very, very big and colorful indie space where it's proven time and time again that creativity is alive and well. It's just not in the stores. It's not in
To be
Walmart.
fair, this guy was specifically asking about the most played stuff in kind of the mainstream. So I
That's
think
true.
he is kind
And
of specifically trying
Yeah.
to not talk about like specifically indie games, I think. For
yeah,
what's worth for this guy.
exactly. And I think I actually mostly agree with him. Yeah, in the big popular game space, it's definitely more priority to cover all bases than be boundary pushing. And therefore, I
I'd probably be
agree.
a bit 50-50. I think
Sure.
right now, like 10 years later, I think the state of the economy, along with other factors, more
It's
so than
changing, yeah.
stifling creativity, have made it so that people are playing more risk adverse, is how I would put it. I think that there's a high degree of not wanting to put out something, especially for some of these game studios that spend like $200 million on a game, that tanks and therefore can potentially destroy the entire developer kind of thing.
Right.
And I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
more of a
we
thing than like the popularity of a game.
put our stances on this point pretty well.
Yeah.
There's another
agree.
category that I missed earlier.
Oh,
There's
you
also
just missed the whole ass category.
Yeah, I skipped over it, unfortunately. There's a recommendations category as well. People asking for recommendations. I'm gonna give you one question of this
All right.
category as well. And here's a question that I actually really like. This is coming from a user called Hamlin, and they asked in 2015, what games to
2015.
play while relaxing outside on a sunny day? What?
Okay, so
Handheld will be helpful.
here's the first question I gotta ask. Can we only use games from 2015 or earlier, or can we use modern ones after
Oh, I didn't
that?
even think about. I think whenever.
All
It's
right.
fine, whenever.
That's what I figured.
Mobile games.
Yeah, but
Don't log your console outside.
Mobile games are a good one.
this person needs specific recommendations. They just want vague fluff.
Tetris.
Tetris.
Honestly, Tetris.
I have two.
Unironically, something like Tetris, because I think like
Balloon Kid.
What?
Balloon Kid.
Oh, Balloon Kid.
That's what I played outside all the time.
I feel like when I'm out, I mean, to me, part of the issue is that when I'm outside, I usually don't necessarily want to play a video game.
Yes, that's
But,
the point. Exactly.
You know, I think something like a Tetris.
But the lighting is so
Like-
good.
That doesn't
I
work
mean-
with like modern screens don't do well with sunlight.
You need to go retro.
Yo, also if you have the Game Boy Advance, just sit near a window.
Yeah. See, okay, here listen to this.
Why open the door? Window right there.
I was trying to say one or two more things, Matt,
Yeah.
before you get on.
Yeah.
Because we had said mobile games. Like I might play like an Arc Knights, just set up some daily stuff or go through a few maps while I'm like laying back, something like that. Something that's not very intensive, I guess is how you put it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, dailies is a good idea. Whatever game you have that has dailies.
Okay.
Get
So
Wordle.
that for a bit.
Stop with water. Stop with water.
It's true. You can just
Myrtle.
You can be like laying back in like your hammock or chair
Ooh,
or
the game of
whatever,
life.
and you'll be
Yeah.
like, man, 2 green letters.
Let me
What goes with
give
me and why?
Great games to play outside. Touch Grass VR.
Yes. Let me give my two genuine recommendations that actually like make use of being outside and being in the sunlight. Number one, I think this is a more obvious one. I would definitely recommend the mobile game Ingress, which was the GPS game before Pokemon Go became the popular thing by Niantic, the same
Oh, yeah.
developers. Ingress is still my favorite because it is not tied to some fucking greedy brand. It's just its own original thing with its storytelling, and it has you walking around your real city, exploring the world while playing a video game on your phone, which is fucking dope. And my second recommendations is going into the retro thing. but it's still more than just some game on a handheld console. Um,
Boktai.
yes, Boktai. I played
Yes.
Boktai 2, which is a Game Boy Advance game where in the cartridge there's a solar panel to catch the sunlight, and it actively changes the world in game, which is so cool of a mechanic. Like the game is like not the best in the world, but it's so interesting to experiment with that, and I highly recommend playing that in your sunlight outside while you touch grass. So those are my two genuine
Yeah, that makes a
recommendations.
lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
We did a question from each of the 4 categories. One more question from the advice category. Uh, should I buy a Nintendo Switch now? Which was asked by user Alexiant in 2017.
Yes. And I mean, even in 2016 or 2026, I'm gonna say yes, because
So
you
why
can
is
get it
that?
really cheap. You can get it really cheap now because
Yeah.
there's so many people selling them. You can get them used, especially for really cheap for a game console, and it has a
S-
huge library of a lot of different games.
So what you're actually saying is do not buy it in 2017, wait 9 years. That's what you're saying to
No,
this
I
user.
would buy it in 2017. But since it's in 2026, I wanted to make clear that even today,
I was planning to buy before I was gifted a Switch in 2017. In 2017? 2018. Good use out of it considering that I hadn't played console games in a while, and I figured that that was going to get me and my boyfriend at the time playing games. Yeah, at the time it was like sort of a risk because I was like, what if I don't actually get back into gaming with this? But it being like also a handheld was also helpful, so I could play it on the
Yeah.
bus on the way to work and back
right?
home. So I got a lot of use out of it in 2018, buying it then. And if you haven't had a Switch until 26 and you get one now, you have a decade of backlog games to get through that
Yeah.
are very high quality games and
Right.
indie games and all that stuff. So
And you can get it for like
yeah,
$100.
it's a good purchase. Yeah, now it's even cheaper. So Switch 2 is the jury's still out on whether that's
I
gonna be
would get
worth
a
it.
Switch
Yeah.
too, but that's because I'm interested in games that are on it. It's not as much of a necessarily auto buy. I would say I would recommend, but it is pricier, which
Yeah,
makes it harder to
there's
recommend.
there's games that I want on Switch 2, and there's probably going to be more down the line, but
Right.
Yeah.
I wait for that exclusive list to get high enough where I'm like, all right, now the price is lower, and now I can buy all of these games for cheaper than they were at the time, which is
I
what I
mean,
did for
yeah.
the PS3 era of games where like I had the system, don't have the games, but now I can buy all these games for $15 instead of
Yeah.
70, so or 50 at the time, I guess.
So the
But
conclusion,
So that was helpful.
but I want to say one or two things.
sure.
I think just looking at 2017 real quick, just you have Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and that's just like 4 games. That's a lot of cool stuff that you can just get on your Switch in 2017. If you want to go beyond that, you know, you do have Final Fantasy, Xenoblade Chronicle for RPGs, Splatoon 2. There was a whole bunch of indie games that came out on it, like Cuphead as well. There was already a pretty strong amount of stuff to buy if you went in year one on the Nintendo Switch. So I would say that was a big recommendation for it even at the time.
Also, I'm peeking at the actual post here. At one point, the user says, Metroid Prime will probably be good too, but who knows when that will come out. Well,
If only he knew.
I hope they are looking at that right now. But Metroid Prime 4 is
It
just
did come
Switch
out on
2,
Switch.
probably?
No, it is on Switch, and it
Oh,
runs
so
at
it's
60 FPS.
okay. So it truly is a good decision right now to buy a Switch one. I feel like that's
Yeah,
like the
like
ultimate.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
there
If
you go.
if you wanted Metroid Prime 4, you got it.
Yeah,
It
right
might not have
now,
lived up to expectations because the game is a bit divisive, but you
that's
got it.
true. Well, I think we answered that well. One
Yeah.
more question in the
Yeah.
in my favorite, the plans category.
Oh.
Okay. You know what? Yeah, okay, let's go with this one, which is actually not tied to a specific time specifically. Philipson asked in 2017, what are your September goals for games?
None.
Fucking never,
Yeah, it's
never any
really bold of
ambitions
you
here.
to believe. It's really bold of you to assume I plan any type of gaming that many months in advance. That's not
Yeah.
like a holiday or something.
Do you remember
Like,
if you did anything in September of
I do
2017?
remember the 21st of September, but not necessarily for that
My
specific year.
fucking god.
What year was this?
2017.
Then no, I didn't do anything.
Okay.
That's cool.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I could not play any games except for ones that were on a shitty laptop that basically couldn't even run like potato-ass League of Legends. So I did not
Hell
have the
yeah.
ability to really game in
Yeah.
2017.
And Newgrounds and
And I
Itches
still can
is
only
right
run
there.
League of Legends at like 20 FPS.
Wow, this is exactly when I start, because like when I first started trying to game again was exactly this year, because I remember like one of the first ones I played was Stanley Parable, and that's July 2017 apparently.
But what's in
Um,
September?
but September was Mini Metro.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Alright.
Maybe you should make that your goal, Roy.
One game
Play
that I
Mini
played
Metro in
then.
September. I recommend.
If somebody gets it for me,
I'll think about it.
if
For
somebody
September.
gets it for me and reminds me in September, because otherwise I will probably forget,
Oh my
then
god.
Yeah.
then sure, I'll. Because it's not like super long game. I don't think I'm signing myself up for like a behemoth.
No.
I guess I also am only signing up to play it, not beat it. But if
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
gets it for me and they remind me in September because I'll forget, then sure, I'll play it.
We'll see how this one works out later down the line.
Well, Mini Metro is like $1 on
Yeah,
mobile.
I'm
So.
sure it's not, but mobile.
What is on Steam?
I'll look at it later.
$9.99.
Yeah,
It'll
I'm
probably
sure
go on
it's
sale at some point. I think it's
yeah,
already
yeah,
on my
yeah,
wish
yeah.
list. Yes, it is.
Good. Philosophy and opinions category. Here's actually one specifically for Leah, I feel, where I'm actually very interested in the answer.
Oh.
Joseph733 asked in 2016, is GTA 4 a game that got better with age? You're the expert.
I think so.
Why?
I think
Why?
so. This was what was so interesting. I remember playing it at the time, and that was when Rockstar started getting a little bit more gritty, where like the first GTAs were very more satirical, and it was like obviously like a jokey, and 4 was a little darker.
Oh.
But I finished that, I want to say in like 2020 or 2021, and seeing what they were satirizing about America at the time, knowing everything that has come before, I'm like, wow, remember how this was the issues that we had? And like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, they're making fun of it, but it was just like, oh wow, we've come so far and so low since then. Like,
Shit.
there was one point that really struck me, that there's a section where, you know, like you're driving around and the radio will have like news clips of, you know, like the news station or whatever. And one of the things that they were doing on the talk show, they were talking about like the tree huggers in like Times Square or whatever, and like, oh, the protesters, those silly progressives or whatever. And I was like, wow, that's where we were at the time. And having lived in New York, I remember walking around, there was always random protests going on for like trees, whales or whatever, like, you know.
All
And
of
it
that
was always just kind of
nonsense.
like, okay, yeah, those protesters are, you know, doing their thing and just, you know, walking around or whatever. But it wasn't, you know, to the levels that we've gotten to since, you know. So it was kind of interesting to be like, wow, okay. I had played that like right after I played LA Noire, which is also set during like the Red Scare time, and I was just like, wow, America has been changing
Yeah.
very drastically between these two games. So that was a very interesting, like, having played it after it came out and just being like, wow, if we go back to that. And also like a lot of Nico's story is like the immigrant experience, where like he comes to America thinking, you know, his friends like, oh, I live in this grand castle, I've got all the women, it's great. And he comes and he's like, you live in a flat in Queens, like what do you even, you know, like our flat burns down and you're like, we don't have anywhere to go. And it's like, this is America. This is what you made me, say was going to be amazing, and it's like, maybe it's a little bit better than back home, but it's like, this isn't, the land of milk and honey that they were
Yeah.
promised. So it's kind of just like, yeah, that's that sort of thing where it's like just looking into the
The
past.
classic death of the American dream and all that. But yeah, I never even thought about
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I
yeah.
guess the GTA games are great snapshots of the USA throughout history. That's actually really interesting.
Yeah. So that one in particular, I think, and also I guess San Andreas, maybe,
Mm.
even though that was set in the past when it came out. So it was kind of more like a snapshot of past. But GTA was supposed to be a modern one, and it was like, oh wow, you're gonna have a smartphone, and that's another thing. Like just having like he had a smartphone, but it was still kind of like it wasn't even a smartphone, it was a flip
Yeah.
phone, and you had to go to the internet cafe to do anything. And I was like, this is great now. Like that's why I'm so interested to see in Grand Theft Auto 5, you had like the smartphones where you could text each other and they would call each other or whatever. But I'm so interested to see what 6 is gonna do with, like, social media, because that wasn't even a real thing yet, when 5 came out,
Yeah.
so that's yeah. If anything, I feel like Grand Theft Auto 4 is, like, the perfect snapshot of the time it was released of that time in America, so
That's actually super interesting. What the fuck?
that's my spiel.
Yeah, you have got me to buy GTA 4 before in like a previous episode. This is making
Yeah.
me interested to play it even more. I really have to get that at some point. Like off my
I
backlog.
think that you would have a lot to say
Oh
about it.
shit. Oh fuck.
I mean, I would be interested in seeing you play it.
Yeah. May-
Oh, there you
maybe
go.
maybe
There
maybe
you
that's
go.
this will be my plan for September.
Oh, interesting. Just so you know, Grand Theft Auto 4 is on sale for only $5.99. Oh,
Yeah.
but you only
Yeah.
own it, but for me, maybe.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You should
Everybody played
you should
GTA
all do a
4
GTA
Because
in
4
September.
I've
episode.
never played one.
To get ready for 6 when it doesn't come out in November.
I'm not gonna play that until like 20 years from now.
You think it'll be delayed then?
For sure.
I don't have hopes that it's coming out. In my mind, it's like May next year. What do you mean? Like, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's coming out in a few months," and I was like, "Bro, I don't think so."
The
Like, I see no. Allegedly, the marketing is going to start in the summer. Says
sure.
the Tower Readers of the Universe. I don't know, but I have my doubts. I have a bad feeling about this, about it coming out this year. I don't think it's gonna
The
happen. But we'll
number
see.
in a GTA
Alright.
I would
game,
love to be pleasantly wrong.
the number in the GTA title references to the amounts of delays. I'm telling you, this has still some delays to go.
The only hope that I have for 6 is that apparently the delay cycle that it's had mirrors what they did with Red Dead 2. So when that
Alright.
came out, it got delayed twice and it was pushed back to May, pushed back to November, and then it came out. So I remember I got it for Christmas that year. So
Okay.
it is a possibility. And that's the other thing. They probably do want to have like a Christmas release so people will
That's
get it
true.
for that.
That makes sense, yeah.
So
It is
they're probably really hoping for it to be November. So we'll see.
It is funny because I think every time GTA gets delayed, a bunch of other games get delayed because they don't want to go against it, which makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
But it's funny.
Yeah. And other ones move up because they're like, oh, cool, now
Yeah.
we're in the clear. So
Yeah, we can
I
do
read
it.
an interesting article about that.
Oh, really?
It's like a whole bunch of indies were just like, this is great.
All right.
Let's do the final old question from the question bag. This one is coming from the recommendations category.
Oh, that's what we could call it, the question bag.
Yeah, I guess, unless we can come up with something better. Recommendations category, and I wonder if Roy has something to say about this one. I'm not sure.
Ooh, all right.
Leo What Z asked in 2018, which PS3 racing game should I beat first? I don't know if you have
PS3
like experience with PS3.
I have never played a
Uh,
PS3, and I can't emulate it
Okay.
either. But I can see which. Like I gotta think because there might be ones I know about, but I just have to see if they're on the PS3.
Yeah, that's
You know what
yeah.
I mean? Like I didn't own a PS3, but I know they're there.
I mean, I can
Let's
start. I
see.
can like recommend like Need for Speed Pro Street.
Hey, you know what? You can buy Ridge Racer Type 4 on the PS3.
You can
Really?
buy Grand Theft Auto 4 and play the street races,
Right, right.
That's true.
or Red Dead Redemption and play horse races.
Need for Speed Pro Street would be my vanilla recommendation. That's probably just a decent game to pick up for anybody who likes racing games. But my personal recommendations, of
I don't
course,
have
would
any
be
racing
Ski-Doo Snowmobile Challenge, which is one of the only like
games.
free PS3 games that I've played in my life. Gotta shout out the snowmobiles. But I can narrow it down for you.
I guess my thing would probably just be my recommendation would probably just be Burnout Paradise.
Ah,
It's the only
Yeah.
there
racing
you
game I
go.
had on that system.
The problem for me is that like there's a bunch of racing games I know are on the PS3, but I haven't played them, so can I really recommend
Yeah.
them? I say this: don't buy NASCAR 09.
There we go. That's
That's
helpful.
an anti-recommendation.
There you go. So yeah, okay. Let me narrow it down for you because they are
Recommendations and
they are
anti.
asking for which they should beat first, and they actually have titles in their post, 2 titles. So basically, the question is, should they beat first Driver San Francisco or Burnout Paradise? It's clear what Leah's answer is.
Oh, yeah.
But isn't Driver San Francisco the bad one? No,
No,
because there's
that's
like a
the
bad
great
driver.
one.
Driver.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah,
Roy,
Matt mentioned that recently, and I
before
need
you
to look that up
answer,
myself.
because you are actually going to be the tiebreaker here. Leah saying Burnout Paradise. I'm gonna say Driver San Francisco because that's one of my favorite games of all
Right.
time. And what are you saying to break the tie?
Well, you're asking me about 2 games
No
I
pressure.
haven't played.
Yeah. So I guess
So,
just
Yeah.
what would you rather be interested in trying or whatever? See, so Driver San Francisco has real cars, and you can just switch on them on the fly. Whatever car's driving around the road, you can like press a button and like control another car. That's my pitch for you. That sounds cool, right?
all right, Leah, what's your pitch? Because I'm gonna say right now, I'm slightly biased towards Burnout Paradise in the sense that I know more about it.
Yeah, I figured.
I mean, I'm kind of moved to vote for Driver San Francisco only because I've never heard of it until Matt started talking about it, and it seems very interesting. And for somebody who doesn't play a lot of racing games, it seems like that would be a good recommendation
Hell
to
yeah.
play. So
You know what? I'm gonna make the recommendation you avoid all of it and play Midnight Club Los Angeles because that was like the other game like that came out at the same time.
oh my
And it
gosh.
would
Sure.
and it would be funny to have all of them tie. That's all my logic.
Okay, fair enough. They did play Burnout
I mean,
Paradise first though, so just if
did
you
they
were
like it?
interested. That they didn't
Did they like
update
it?
that. But somebody
Damn!
told
Well,
them
go
they
push them.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
Somebody told them they shouldn't
Yeah.
play Driver San Francisco because it's like the third game in the series, and they might be connected, but they are not at all. So they got false information, and that's why they played Burnout Paradise, and I'm very pissed about that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Anyway,
We
one
will
thing
we will rectify this.
yeah.
I wonder what the state of PS3 emulation is nowadays. I think it's still pretty bad, isn't it?
No, it's good. It's actually been one of the most fluent emulation experiences I've ever had. It's been
Because like
fine.
if I could get an emulator working, I would totally play those racing games.
I mean, I don't know if it's probably pretty system requirement extensive, but it worked. The most annoying thing for me was actually just getting the ROMs because they have to be like converted to a specific file type, which was weird. But other than that, once that is there, it was very easy for me. But I also only emulated one game and tried a couple others briefly. That's it.
I guess nowadays Burnout Paradise ends up winning by default because it's the only one you can get on Steam.
Yeah, Driver San Francisco. There was a huge thing years ago when that was taken off stores. It's a fucking shame. It's so cool. I have it
That does
physically
sound like a shame.
with like a physical statue of the main car somewhere in my shelf back there.
That
Anyway,
sounds cool.
yeah. That was our deep dive into the ancient question abyss of the How Long to Beat forum. Let us move on to a more traditional chapter with the untitled collection game, and we are gonna guess some games in a collection. And today, I believe it's Leah's turn to host.
The Untitled Collection game. We pull a random collection using the website search on How Long to Beat, announce title, creator, amount of games, and then everybody gets 3 chances to guess a game on that list. So, or not everybody. Everybody except who's hosting the game.
Yeah.
Let's do. I don't even understand what this means.
Oh, that's perfect.
There's 12 games on this. Amanita Design is the name of the collection, created by Nico Nina.
Oh god, that's probably publisher or developer.
Probably the studio.
I'm not familiar.
So yeah.
Anyway, that means Matt, are you gonna veto it? Because you go first.
Are you gonna veto it?
No, because you typical host order.
Oh. I could see if I don't veto it, you have to veto it, right? Because you have also no idea what the fuck this is.
No, because I could just accept neither of us getting points because I'm ahead.
Oh yeah, shit, you're right. Thanks for pointing that out.
If nobody gets points, if nobody gets first, I'm just in pretty.
This is a shitty situation. Well, I guess I'm gonna veto this.
Okay.
I keep losing this in all sorts of ways.
That made this game. It's brought him nothing but misery.
Yeah.
30 games. The collection is called PlayStation by the user The Hokey Pokey.
Just PlayStation, that's it.
Do you want to do the hokey pokey, Roy?
I'm just gonna veto. I think it's too generic. I'm willing to see if we get something funkier. You know?
Fuck. I'm scared.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
See, there's one title right
135 games.
130 games?
Wait, is the title
35 games.
Is it called Jesus Christ?
No.
I wish.
The title of the collection is Before How Long to Beat.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, sick.
Created by Lufebe.
Alright. Well, that's what we got.
Lufebe?
Wait, what was the username? Do I know them?
Lufebe, something like that. Lufabe.
So literally
Before
just
How Long to Beat,
anything.
From before the funny thing is, it could be before he came to How Long to Beat or before How Long to Beat existed. I assume it's just before we got there.
Right.
Yeah, probably. And I guess I have to make the first guess. Yeah. Oh, lovely. Here comes Matt again, not remembering popular video games. How about Uncharted?
I mean, yeah. That one seems like it could be on there to me.
It sure could.
No.
Fuck me, dude.
Super Mario 64.
That search better be working.
No.
Oh.
Alright.
That's actually crazy. What the fuck? I feel like a gamer has to have played Uncharted or Super Mario 64. What else is there in between?
Uncharted or Super Mario
64. How about what's that thing called? With the sequel that nobody likes.
Damn! What's the game with the sequel nobody likes?
I'm gonna say Overwatch.
I mean, that makes sense, honestly.
Overwatch.
Come on.
I guess the question is, would they beat it? But it doesn't say beat it. Just it's like
no, it's a yep.
No, it's not here.
What the fuck? 300 games.
I'm gonna go with Halo. I'm gonna go with Halo 2.
This is hilarious.
Because he's apparently not a PlayStation guy, maybe, and he's maybe not a Nintendo guy, so maybe he's a Microsoft guy. So I'm gonna go Halo 2.
A Microsoft guy? That doesn't exist.
No, it's not here.
Yeah.
They're making
what? Minecraft.
They're making a lot of
Minecraft.
Come on.
That's a good one.
Come on.
I should have gone Minecraft.
Minecraft.
Let's fucking
I should
go.
Gone Minecraft. As soon as you said that, I'm like, no shit. Tetris.
Yeah. Shit. There's no way.
I'm not
Is that your?
I'm not really sure it'll be here, but I'm just thinking, all right, what's something that like a bunch of people have played?
No way.
I'm not feeling it either, but
Do you think this guy knows what a Tetromino is?
do you think most Tetris players know what that is?
Yeah, I know.
No, it's not here.
Let's fucking
All right,
go.
so it's all down to Matt. You can go on a run.
What do Minecraft players play? Not. I feel like they only play Minecraft.
There's something you mentioned earlier that would fit, Matt.
I'm tempted to say Roblox, but that might be too insulting. I said something
Damn.
earlier. What did I say
It was a
earlier?
game you said you weren't gonna play.
I said I was not gonna play long RPG. Oh, Terraria. Yeah, let's go with Terraria.
Yeah,
Good-
like
good
Minecraft
idea,
guys, a lot of
Roy.
them like Terraria. I'm
Yeah.
helping you out, which maybe isn't the best from a competitive standpoint, but
No.
Well, god
you gotta
dang.
post this dude's collection so we can see what the
Yeah.
fuck is on here.
How the fuck out of 300 games we only guessed one?
No, was it only 135?
135.
Oh, still.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting 4 points. I'm still.
Oh, like every Animal Crossing, that makes sense.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Astron. Damn it! He just didn't have Super Mario 64. If he had Super Mario 64, I was gonna sweep it.
Literally, yeah.
Yo!
I was scrolling through the
Yeah.
Mario and it was like literally everything but 64.
Oh
That's
god!
They have a game here.
Astronomical Club for Clears.
Yes. I was gonna say exactly the same thing. That sounds awesome. This person rocks.
Yo, Crazy Chicken Adventure: The Pharaoh's Treasure.
Wait, hold on. They are a crazy chicken person? Yo! Let's fucking go. This would
Wait,
be
you
a
actually
fellow
know what that
German.
is?
Yeah. Crazy Chicken is huge in Germany. This person is a legend. I love him.
Yeah, they have like every Mario RPG on here, like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games repeatedly.
Yeah, literally every like
Jesus.
What's the oldest Mario that they've played?
I was scrolling through and you were like, he's probably not a Nintendo guy as I was scrolling through like 1,000
God, he has
Pokemon
like
games. I
every
was like, well,
fucking Pokemon game. Oh my god, I would have fucking slept.
That's awesome. This was a great one.
Yeah,
Well.
this was. I'm glad I vetoed the other one.
Yeah.
Dude, he has Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Land on here.
yeah.
All right.
He's got like
everybody,
really
let's-
old Mario games. He doesn't have,
let's-
and you know what sucks? He also doesn't have Ocarina of Time, which probably would have been my next guess if I went down the Nintendo track.
That would have been very reasonable.
yeah.
Well, let us come to a conclusion on
Amazing.
this epic journey of many questions that we have now fulfilled. Honestly, listeners, if you had any interesting answers to the questions that we pulled from the depths of the forum, please let us know. I feel like there's a lot of interesting opinions to be shared there. And I guess I kind of want to know if anybody has more recommendations for games specifically to be played outside in the sun. Summer is coming up. We all need some gaming while we touch grass or whatever the heck. So
I'm
I
not
would
fucking going
welcome some
outside in the
more.
heat where I live. Man.
Yeah, no.
Fuck that.
The sun is out there.
That's also very respectable.
Summer's a deadly laser. Stay inside, play video games.
And with that message, we will leave you to contemplate the choices that you have made, dear listener. Thanks for listening, everybody. Hear you next time, and goodbye.
Goodbye, and don't forget your wordle today.
Bye.